hello. What's up tonight, everyone? Welcome. Fine Thursday to y'all. Almost forgot what day it was. Fine Thursday to y'all. Good to see ya. What is up, Love Cameron? It's your donuts. Dragon Rooster, Love Cameron again, my mother frogger. How is everyone doing today? Hello. Hopefully everyone is having an amazing day. Oh no, I thought that I was being smart by getting coffee. Because everyone said warm. You need a warm drink. So I figured coffee was a warm drink, but maybe I'm actually going to make it worse. We'll see. Your voice does sound way better. Yeah, I mean, so fingers crossed that it sounds way better 2 hours from now. That's a quite, like, my voice is, like, pretty much fine. But then sometimes if I talk for way too long, it ends up kind of falling apart after a while. So we'll see. It sounds good now. Hopefully it's still good a couple hours from now. But today, I'm also going to try to not go like too crazy. I think when I get like super hyped and get loud, I think that actually makes it worse too. So today we're playing some Modern. We're going to start with some Seismic Giant, one of the more unique Blood Moon decks I've seen in a while. It's a Seismic Assault, Life on the Loam, Blood Moon Giant deck with Quake Bringers and Countryside Crushers and Bone Crusher Giants. So that's what we're starting with. We're starting with some giant action in Modern on Magic Online. Also got a couple backup decks, some Sappy Scam action, and this deck is wild. I have never seen a deck like this. I found this deck in the Moto results. I do not know what's going on with this deck. So it's like, we've played Dice Factory before. We were trying to use like core tappers and surge nodes to add counters to Astro Cornucopias, but usually you're like ramping into big Tron style stuff. This is like all those weird counter synergies, but instead of ramping into stuff, you're trying to like add counters to Ether Vial to put Kiki Jiki into play, I guess, in combo with Corridor Monitor. Like, this deck is just weird. Loved all the against odds yesterday in the Emrakul block. Yeah, I still haven't figured out what the issue with that buck is. Like, that was a weird one. Emrakul worked fine unless you tried to fight it with something and it fell apart. Do we get a set review from you today? All the cards are out now. So I normally don't do a full set review on stream because I do spoiler videos and then I do the top 10 videos, which I recorded with Krim today. So we'll talk tons about March of the Machine stuff as we go along, but probably not like a full on true set review. So on the YouTube, you will find all the set reviewy type stuff. Purplesaurus Rex, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. Do you think Proliferate decks will ever go up in power if everyone else starts playing a lot of battles? Yeah, I mean, if battles are heavily played, Proliferate gets better by default because it makes it harder for your opponents to defeat the battle. So yeah, I do think the power of Proliferate is correlated with battles to some extent. Do we know? So we know Wizards uses AI to generate code for Arena. Wait, really? Is that true? Does that explain all the problems? Is that good or bad? I mean, the ethical, like, people losing jobs aspect, like, the thing is, so here's the thing. Obviously, AI taking people's jobs is bad. Although, like, we can solve that problem. Give everyone an income. Like, it solves the issue. That we can do all the cool AI stuff, and we don't have to work so hard. Like, isn't that a win-win? Like, I don't understand why that's so hard for people to wrap their to wrap their heads around. Just like, if you take care of everyone, then we can have the computers do all of our work for us while we play Magic Arena. Like, win. They just use it to parse text code and generate lines of code. Well, I mean, I guess it probably makes it more efficient or something. I know nothing about programming. Essentially, a friend of mine is actually working on ChatGPT. It is fascinating. The ChatGPT thing definitely is interesting. I've had some fun messing around with it. I haven't figured out how to make it build me a real deck yet, but someday it'll get smart enough, and then we can play ChatGPT against the odds. What do you think about fight cards for battles? Oh, like designing new cards that would fight battles? Yeah. I mean, I'm very curious. I still haven't really I still haven't really gotten a grip on whether battles are going to be coming regularly every set or if it's kind of like a one-off thing. So, how are Cece and Bear? Oh, Cece. Okay, let's do a reminder. Cece actually got to go to the vet. Her vet appointment got canceled. Replay YouTube. That's when you find all the old streams, including this one in the future. Normal YouTube. Tons of stuff coming up tomorrow. We got a really sweet deck from Much Brew that I've been playing a lot for fun. I'm like one match away from Mythic on Magic Arena, playing what I would guess would consider a pretty under the radar deck. So that's coming up tomorrow for Much Brew. Top 10 videos, of course. Next week, we're gonna have release day, early access day, all that stuff. So keep an eye on the YouTube for tons of stuff. A reminder that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom. Cece is the cat that snuck into my house and now is making me take her to the vets. Our sponsor today is Card Kingdom. If you need some magical cards, you can get them over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. Even get a free goldfish sticker. Just let them know you want one in your order notes and they'll hook you up. Otherwise, merch page, tokens, t-shirts, playmats, giveaways, worth the stream and the channel and the site. Donations, always appreciated, never required. $2 or more gets your message read on stream. Did you catch the LSV Reduke No Banless Modern video? The format honestly seemed cooler than Real Modern. I didn't, but that sounds like something I'd like to watch. I'm gonna have to look it up. What did they play? I'm curious. Nasmith for this 75th month. I sort of expected battles to lose counter for each creature that dealt damage to the defending player, but maybe that felt too good as a double dip for getting battles flipped plus beating the opponent. Yeah, I mean, then it would just be free value for creature decks. I think that would be much more powerful that way, but I think I like this design better, that there's actually some decisions to be made about battles. So I think that's a win. Gotta set up a pet cam. Trust me, the username checks out. They just move around so much. I'll see if I can snag CC for you. It might be possible. CC just doesn't come in the office. So the problem is, Bear's kind of the office animal, so he's always chilling in here with me. And Cece has gotten much braver. Well, she'll walk right around Bear and they leave each other alone. But she doesn't usually come into the office, I think, because she thinks of it as Bear space. JG Joestar, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super chat for you. Thank you. Do you think we've seen the last of Jason Veraska? I don't put any weight in anything that happens in the Magic story. When Elspeth came back from the dead, that was the aha moment where I was like, okay, just none of this actually matters. So could they be gone forever? Yes. Are they gone forever? I have no idea. If they want to bring them back, they'll have some reason to bring them back. Is Magic lore actually that consistent? I feel like, I don't know, is the lore a strength of Magic? I think that's actually an interesting question. Is the lore a strength, or is it just kind of there, an add-on? And I'm not sure that it actually is. So, our deck we're playing today. Oh, CC at the vet. CC at the vet. Let's talk about our deck and we'll start playing it. We'll talk about CC at the vet. So what are we playing to start off with today? This is Seismic Giants. So essentially, this is a Seismic Assault. This is a Seismic Assault Life on the Loam deck. So if you've never seen Seismic Assault Loam, Seismic Assault, we discard a land to deal 2 damage. Life from the Loam can get back 3 lands for 2 mana. So if we get this set up, every turn we just dredge it, get back land, shoot stuff down, shoot our opponent's face. What makes this list spicy? I guess Loam and Seismic Assault's already spicy, but this is also a giant deck. We got Bone Crusher Giant, which everyone knows that one. We got Countryside Crusher, which mills cards until we hit lands and then grows itself. And then we have Quakebringer. Quakebringer is key to this deck, because the idea of Quakebringer is we can get Quakebringer in our graveyard as long as we have another giant. On our upkeep, it deals 2 damage to each opponent. So we're kind of like the world's weirdest burn deck. Our main plan for winning the game is Quakebringer damage, Seismic Assault damage, Clothis damage, Bone Crusher damage. So we're kind of like the world's jankiest, gruel, giantiest burn deck of all time. And that's essentially the plan. That's what we're trying to do. Get the Seismic Assaults, get the Quakebringers in the graveyard, play some giants, burn our opponent out of the game. Otherwise, graveyard hate in the sideboard, removal, life gain, Tron hate, or I guess Cascade hate more properly at this point. So that is Seismic Giants. That's what we're going to start off with tonight. Winner Milan with the gift sub to Mega Magikarp. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. So wait, why are Jace and Vraska maybe gone? I'm like, It's kind of Gruul Dredge. I could see that being a good name for it. Why could they be gone? Like, so I should say I haven't actually read the whole story or hardly any of it. I read like two. I think I read two of the episodes of the March of the Machine story, the last two. So is there actually a chance that they're going to be gone? The Cardboard Samurai, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I picked up a Loam Assault deck. Sounds exciting. The list I saw tosses in Slogger for the Beast deck. I've seen that list too. This is I think probably a jankier version. The Giant theme I think is kind of janky, but it's also what kind of drew me to the deck because it's just unique. I'm also excited to try this because we're getting the new Battle Seismic Assault, which maybe could be better in this deck once it comes out. I don't know. It depends on how easy it is to flip the battles, but the backside is definitely like a very upgraded Seismic Assault. So I took CDC to the vet. The vet said 19 pounds. I don't know what a good cat weight is, but they didn't yell at me. So they yell at me about Bear. When I take Bear to the vet, I always get scolded about him being such a big puppy. But the cat, 19 pounds, they figure she's about 2 years old was their guess, and healthy except for, I can't remember is that large for a cat? And then really? Huh. Maybe I'm just so used to Bear and his 160-pound body lumbering around that the cat seems very small. The only issue she has is I don't remember the technical name for it, but it was something to do with her teeth. Like she was healthy, she was good, but she had some problem with her teeth, which was, for now it's okay, but if it keeps getting worse, she could potentially have to have her teeth out and like x-rays and so forth. I don't remember the name of it though, but presumably it was because she was maybe living outside for like up to a year before she ended up at my house. Also of note, apparently she was someone's cat at some point because I think that she was fixed. So someone must have actually been taking care of her at one point. So I don't know why. I don't know what happened, but definitely not chipped or anything like that. Had to have my cat's teeth taken out. It was pricey. Yeah, that I was worried about that. Anything at the vets is pricey. The story, if it's by Alison Lurs, is great, but she works at Bungie on Destiny now instead of Magic. She did the Ixalan story. She showed you could make Magic lore can be absolutely phenomenal, but they have a lot of workers on the project. Yeah, I guess that makes sense that it probably depends on who actually is writing the story. That was actually on my list of things to talk about today. Do we keep this? One land? Yeah, we'll keep this. One land, but we have the Utopia Sprawl. I was going to ask you, because I don't know D&D lore, but this card popped up. The chonkiest dragon. Themberchod. What is the story of this dragon? Why, the flavor is hilarious. Apparently, if I'm understanding the flavor of this, like it comes down and deals a bunch of damage, but then it has to exert itself to gain flying, presumably because it's such a chunky dragon that it cannot easily fly. What is the story of this card? This is, I think, one of the hidden cards from the D&D Secret Lair drop. Is this like an actual iconic D&D character? I've never heard of Themberclod before. Well, Utopia Sprawl on a non-basic, unfortunately. He is a chunky boy. Oh, they didn't mention the breed. Dan Wildfire, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. Oh, how was the movie? Did any of you actually go see the movie? I keep hearing like such good things about the movie that even though I don't usually do superhero movies and I also don't do D&D, I'm tempted to watch it just because so many people are saying it's actually just like a fun, entertaining movie. Lucid, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. I don't know though, but it's competing with the Mario movie, right? Like that's the problem. Is it better than going to watch Mario? That's the real question. Actually, the real question is, what do we do here? This is an interesting turn. So we can Ren get back the land. We can Countryside Crusher. But that'll probably be better next turn. We can Blood Moon, but then we lock our... I think we gotta just Ren. Is it probably just Ren? Yeah, try to avoid movie spoilers for people who might actually go see them. Will I? Yeah, that's basically my question, Ghosty. Like, will I enjoy the movie knowing that I don't really know D&D lore and also don't usually do like superhero-y random movies? From everyone I've talked to, it sounds like the answer is yes. That even if you don't know D&D, you will probably just have a fun time watching this movie. It's just like an enjoyable, fun movie to watch is what I've heard from essentially everyone. Bloodstained Meyer Crackett. I guess we should have done this in the other order because a lightning bolt technically. Grab a mountain. Tick up Ren. Get the fetch land. Well, I mean, we need a loam and we need a seismic assault, but we're off to a pretty good start. I wouldn't think the D&D movie would be very good, considering the whole point of D&D is to sort of act out your own story, but I guess it must be fun. I mean, D&D also has like a ton of lore, right? Even more so than Magic. I didn't realize D&D had been around for 50 years, so there's actually like just a huge amount of lore associated with the game. Still no green mana. Well, I guess it's... So I guess we play Bloodstained Mire. Play Countryside Crusher. Get the Giants going. Do a little crushing. Sonic the Hedgehog is older. Yeah, I think you're actually right. Crack it. Grow it. Yes. That's a 4/4. That's a 4/4. Stomping Grounds tapped. Take up Ren. Look at this giant synergy. Look, it's a 4/4 for 3. We did it. One more land in the graveyard and we can attack through Sheoldred. So, I mean, like, it's kind of both, right? Doesn't D&D have a... So, playing D&D, you make it up. I've played D&D twice with Tomer and the Goldfish Crew. So, playing D&D, you make it up. But there's also, similar to Magic, like, in Magic, when you play the game, like, the lore doesn't come into it at all. But there's also, like, tons of Magic stories and Magic books. I think D&D is similar, except it's just been doing it for even longer. I mean, the D&D worlds would be like Planes and Magic, kind of. Is that a fair comparison? Ooh, more crushy crusher tins. Okay, so... I mean, we're going to keep doing what we do. Countryside Crusher. Our opponent has played all basics, so... Well, Bloodstained Mire, crack Bloodstained Mire. Grow the Giants. Are we about to get comboed? If we're not about to get... What is our opponent doing? Our opponent hasn't done anything this game. Well, Stomping Grounds. Go to combat. Attack you with Crushy Crusherton. Opponent. Okay, cycle. Haha. Combo. Grow 'em. We are popping off. We are Wow, that's another Crusher. Wait, is Countryside Crusher a good card? Are we gonna win this game? Is this actually happening? Well, get back a Bloodstained Mire. Pass the turn. Like, they're huge. They're actually huge. Oh, need to reset the record. You're right. Thank you. Record text. So how's everyone's day been? How's everyone's week been? Rhinos? Oh, yeah, sure. Our crushers are just bigger than rhinos. Oh, it's glimpse. Oh, who knows what happens now. Okay, we can deal with that. That's fine. That is acceptable. A Brazen Borrower, 2 lands, and a Shardless Agent. Wow, and that's one of them's a Gemstone Cavern. Opponent passes. Oh, I think we're good. Mill those cards. Grow that giant, maybe. Okay, so we will stomp the Shardless Agent, Bloodstained Mire, Crack Bloodstained Mire, grow the Crushers. Oh, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. The giant win. I can't believe it's working, but it is. Yeah, go to, actually, let's tick up, get back the Sheltered Thicket, go to combat, attack you, and kill you. Giants. Oh, that was super good. Got good news. The small lump they removed from my dog's shoulder turned out to be benign. He's going to be fine. Hey, awesome, Boss Sports. Oh, that's good news. That's super good news. Wow, that was actually kind of impressive. I did not expect to just play 2 Countryside Crushers and win, but apparently that's a thing that can happen. So wait, where are we at with the movies? D&D movie or Mario movie? If you have to pick between the two, what one am I picking? So I think we want the Void Mirrors to shut down the Cascade. Opponent played around Blood Moon pretty well. I don't even know if we want Blood Moon. This actually feels like a bad matchup. John Wick. Everyone's saying D&D. Wait, John Wick. I haven't even seen John Wick 1. I heard that a dog dies, though. I know that. Wait, there's actually 4. There's 4 John Wicks? Do I actually need to watch those? Is that an important part of, I don't know, being a human of my generation? Do I need to know what John Wick is? What? Okay, so chat, you know me in pop culture. What do I need to know as a mostly adult human being in 2023? What prioritize this for me? If I gotta pick and choose pop culture to keep up on, what do I actually have to watch? What is actually important here? There's so much competing for my time. So my grandmother is 81 years old. She's 81 years old. And she is obsessed with RRR. She's like, she's retired and just kind of like does whatever all day. But I believe she's watched RRR 24 times in the last month. She's watching it like once a day. I actually saw a part of it because she keeps telling me I had to watch it. So I actually watched part of it in the cinematology. The cinematography was actually very impressive. Like I was pretty blown away just by like some of the shots that they got on camera were really good. It was delicious. The actual story, like when it came on, I came in like partway into it, so I had no idea what the actual story was, but I could appreciate what was happening on screen. The cinematology, yeah, was delicious. Yeah, we'll keep this. We got Countryside Crusher, unbeatable. Wouldn't Solemnity automatically defeat battles? So I believe they would, right? Would they not? Actually, we need the ruling. So the question is battles worded when the last counter is removed, flip them? Or is it when this permanent has no counters, flip them? Oh, Solemnity doesn't impact battles anyway. Okay, so, well, that wording would still be relevant, I think, right? But yes, you're actually right. Solemnity just does not actually say battle on it. Swing for 0. Battles are super wild. I'm really hyped for those. Welcome to the Fish Bowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you. Thank ya. Wait, is this deck not playing a single forest? This deck should really be playing a forest, I think. Utopia Sprawl with no basic forest is... Okay, we have 1 basic forest. I was going to say, Utopia Sprawl with no basic is max greed mode. Well, Utopia Sprawl. Ooh, red. Almost click green. Pass the turn. Solemnity can infect battles, but the rules they've given us aren't clear how it would work. Well, I mean, I think that, so the problem is Solemnity says specific things. You are right, like, so an effect like Solemnity could impact battles, but we need the ruling. However, Solemnity itself, if you read it, and this is what I missed at first too, counters can't be put on artifacts, creatures, enchantments, lands, or players. So it lists off things that can not get counters, and battles isn't one of those. So because of the wording on Solemnity, it actually just does literally nothing with battles, but... Opponent. Gemstone Mine and passes. Opponent said hopefully they'll go off a little faster. I am not hoping for that, but I mean, I guess we just got a Void Mirror, eh? I think. Yeah, alright. How about a Void Mirror? Do you think chat on Arena would be a good thing? I think I would have a good time with chat on Arena, but I don't know if everyone would have a good time with chat on Arena. Because I know people who've just had very negative experiences. Like, I have had super positive experiences with Magic Online chat. Like, yes, occasionally you get someone who's raging or being a jerk, but a huge percentage of the interactions are positive. But people also like know my username and might be on their best behavior. Wow, D&D movie with the win by far. D&D 70%. So apparently I gotta watch the D&D movie. Or maybe it's partly the crowd. I think you gotta keep that in mind too. Like, at this point, I assume the Moto crowd is probably skews a bit older. Oh no. Are you blowing up our Void Mirror? Is this supposed to... Okay. All right. Well, whiff, 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 whiff. Whiff, whiff, whiff. Let's get that low roll. Are we dead? Opponent plays Beseiju. Opponent. Going to Cascade. They're doing this with only 4 permanents. That's just not a lot of permanents. Not a lot of permanents. What is in their deck? Oh, God. Attracts. Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh, so. Okay. Well. I guess sometimes it only takes 4 permanents. This really is like the casino deck of Modern. Like, game one we saw the floor. This game we saw the ceiling. you just really cross your fingers and hope for the best. Emerald doesn't even die to Doomblade. Sand kind of does nothing. Bolchu start, like, our opponent is just doing such scary fast things. I don't know if we can afford to be like, cycle a land, get it back. Have I played with Decon Planeswalker? I do not think we've ever played with Decon Planeswalker. Oh no. Are we keeping this? This hand is also depressing. Okay, 5 it is. All right. Here we go. Go 5 card end. We found a Void Mirror though. Beseiju bottom and Lightning Bolt bottom. And let's see what happens. Opponent. Gemstone Caverns going for the super fast start. Well, they do have to have an answer to our Void Mirror. The Void Mirror does stop them. Hey, what's up, Darkin? How are you? Good to see you. Good to see ya. Well, Utopia's Brawl on red. What would you do with Darkon? Is there any sweet uses for it that you've come up with? All right, opponent, Misty Rainforest, and passes. Pitch and Omniscience. Well, Beseju, and we're gonna wait. We're gonna play Fable. Play Fable, pass it. If they spin with 3 permanents and hit Emrakul, then hats off, I guess. About it. Steam Vent Stabbed. Alright. Let's see what you got, opponent. Let's see what the luck level is this game. Someone won a tournament in Finland with that deck. They had it fittingly named Atraxas Casino. That is the perfect name for this deck. It really is. It really is the high roll. Just hope for the best. Well, let's discard Sheltered Thicket. Draw Bone Crusher Giant. Go to combat. Hit ya. Play Void Mirror. Oh, no. Oh, no. Hardcast Force Negation. Uh-oh. Building a 5-color, only basic land EDH. Would it be rude to play Blood Moon? It might teach people to play more basic lands. I am the biggest Blood Moon supporter. I love me some Blood Moons. I do consider Blood Moon pretty rude in Commander. I choose not to play Blood Moon in Commander. Well, what's the luck level this game? Opponent. Spin it to win it. Spin it to win it. And not very good. Okay. Yeah. Well, that is acceptable. We will accept a Shardless Agent and a plant token. That could have been a lot worse. That could have been a lot worse. Opponent. Passing. Wait, we got the G. Opponent GG'd us. It really is a casino. Well, let's stop a Shardless Agent. I mean, they could do it again, right? It's not impossible. Transform our battle. Go to combat. Attack you with a goblin. About it. Blocks. Well, let's... I think we're good. We should be good. Why is there end of combat stops at Ren? I mean, the safest play is just to snipe the token. Yeah, we're gonna snipe the token. We just want to minimize the number of permanents on the battlefield. Yeah, I think keeping the permanents off the battlefield worth it. Have you seen the song written about? Wait, there's a song written about me. I didn't know there was a song about me. Do I have battles? I do. I'm super hyped for battles. Battles are very interesting. Opponent. Beseju's us. Sure. I mean, opponent does not have much going on, though. They don't have much going on at all. And we got Countryside Crusher, which... Ooh, wow. Okay. Countryside Crusher. Ren. Oh, we got another Void Mirror. The Void Mirror probably does it. That should be the card that should put it away. Verdant Catacombs. Crack the Catacombs. Wait, do we not like battles? What is your hype level for battles? I think battles are gonna be really sweet. Or at least interesting. Well, Void Mirror. Your go, opponent. Can you overcome a Countryside Crusher and a Void Mirror? So, I don't know, do y'all play Blood Moon in Commander? I feel like Blood Moon is a little bit much. And about it, scoops it up. Well, we took a trip to the casino. The house always wins, which apparently is Countryside Crusher in this case. Battles are cool, and some of them pretty pushed. I'm sure they'll be good fun. I think they're gonna have an interesting impact on the game. So, question for you about battles: Do you think we'll get more battles the next set? Wait, is there really a set? All right, let me. Oh, it's Remy. Okay, we can put this on. I don't think Remy's gonna get it. Gonna get a copyright strike. Hopefully.
Blood moon, make a token helper. I have alpine moon. Where's my freaking Delver? Imprisoned in the moon.
I gotta say, Remy makes really good content. He really does. It's so different than what anyone else does in Magic, which is I think the best part about it. Like it's just so. Oh, if you've never seen MTG Remedy, you should definitely look up his YouTube. This is what he does. Like his channel is all Magic themed parodies that are really high quality. This one, maybe I've seen it a long time ago. I've seen a lot of Remy stuff, but I would definitely recommend Remy's Magic covers are just super funny. I think Walking on the Moon is my favorite Please song. I don't know if I've ever really listened to the Please. See, too pop culture-y for me. They're actually, people know who they are. You can't listen to that. No hipster cred there. Yeah. Well, I mean, we're walking on the moon. Oh, I don't know if I could imagine Remy doing Modest Mouse. That would be interesting. Anybody think the new Omen Hawker card has a place in a high level deck? I might have to look up that card. Oh no. Champion of the... Oh dear. Okay, this might be bad. We have no removal and our opponent's aggro on the play. What is it? Omen Hawker? Let's look at this Omen Hawker here. Priest of the... What? Is this human reanimator? What is happening? What is happening? We have a new donation from... We need a removal spell desperately. One cube. Does it feel like Mom is just trying to do way too much? Battles, team ups, Braiders, flips, walkers, Phyrexians, etc. Finding it hard to get hyped about one thing in this set. It feels like the answer to what if product fatigue were a set. I definitely hear what you're saying. I've had a I'm incredibly hyped for this set, but I have also noticed that it's kind of overwhelming. There's so much going on in this set, and then there's so much going on each card. Like each card is not every card, but many cards are double phased, and many cards are double phased with in kind of the Dean from Strixhaven way, where they're like double faced with just this ridiculously huge wall of text. So yeah, I can definitely sympathize with the overwhelming aspect of it. For me, my hype level is still like super high. It hasn't killed my hype for this set, but I could see how it could be getting a little bit overwhelming. Affinity Discord. Yeah, I know. If Wizard could figure out the technology, you know there would be triple phase cards. You know there would. Mom is supposed to be all over. And yeah, I think it's also kind of the theme of this set. Like, characters from all over coming to team up to stop the Phyrexian. So the theme is probably part of it too. I wish we could kill the champion of the perished. Yeah, not feeling good. All right, Pat, play the land, pass the turn. Question for chat and Seth. How many cards that are not basic lands would be necessary before a cube could be considered usable? So what is the minimum number of cards you need for a cube? Well, I mean... Oh, that's... Yeah, now we're super dead. Well, I mean, so let's say you have 8 players, 45 per player. What would the math on that be? Like that would be the absolute minimum, right? You would probably want enough to do 3 packs with 8 players. So that's 45 cards per player. I guess I could pull up a calculator. So if you have, so I think that would be the minimum. So 45 cards, 8 players. So I think 360 is the barest minimum. That would be the barest minimum. I think you would often want to be, well, yeah, I mean, I guess you could build, okay, for a normal cube that you would draft with a full crew of people. I had someone actually when I was at Magic Con Philly, there was someone that had a 1v1 cube, or a cube that they played 1v1, where they just like had you draft, you drafted against the other person and played a match against each other. So there are other ways you could do it. So you could look into some of those alternate ways. But I think as far as like a full cube, 360 would be the minimum. Oh, was that you, Grun? Hey, the cube was super fun. Yeah, that was a fun match and a fun cube. Had a lot of cool cards in it. How big was your cube? The one we played 1v1. Yeah, we're dead. Well, we got a couple Brothers Sedens in the sideboard, and that was just not a hand that's going to line up against aggro. Feed the clan, eh? Are we actually supposed to be feeding the clan? I mean, Blood Moon's bad. We got to go down the Blood Moon, so we might be bringing some Feed the Clans just to... Yeah, I guess we are. You know, so far Blood Moon has not been our hero today. So, Seth, I had a take on Twitter where people seem so pro-proxy that people don't even think it's necessary to have a ruled 0 discussion, as in very obvious proxies that are meant to look cool, not counterfeits. What's your take on that? I mean, my personal take is and this is just me speaking for me personally. I'm not trying to set a standard for everyone or anything. For me personally, I don't care if you tell me you have proxies in your deck. Like that's just me personally. If I don't feel like if we sit down to a game somewhere, you need to be like, oh, I have this proxied or that proxied, or even that I have anything proxied. Like my standing position is, as long as it's not counterfeit, then I am okay with it for casual play. So I don't care if people tell me. Well, we have a Bolt, which is good. I mean, this hand's not bad. Worst case, we bolt our opponent's first play, loan back our lands next turn, and then start playing dorks. Speaking of, SCGCon Richmond is something I'm looking forward to next week. Yeah, I'm not gonna be in Richmond, unfortunately. I ended up lining up poorly with March of the Machine stuff, so I decided to skip that one. So I'm gonna be back doing. It's actually pretty good. I'm gonna be back doing early access day and whatnot, holding down the content for it. But say hi to Crim and Tome. I think Crim and Tome are both going, I believe. So someone had to stay and do podcasts and early access events. Yeah, let's put this on red. It should be super fun though. It's cool that it's on a pre-release weekend. Well, loan back some lands, pass the turn. We're in much better shape this game. I think too many proxies runs the risk of people making proxies that have incorrect rules text to cheat, which could be a problem among new groups of players. I never really considered that. Listening to your podcast earlier, couldn't believe none of you have played Plane Chase. Sell me on Plane Chase. Should I play Plane Chase? So the way it's been explained to me, it sounds like oh wow, they are trying to reanimate, aren't they? If we get hit by an Emrakul, I am not going to be thrilled. I am not going to be thrilled. Well, Fable of the Mirror Breaker. And so many Fables. Bloodstained Mire past the turn. I feel like, how often do you play Plane Chase? I think that's the question. Do you use it as like a once in a while thing? Is it like Momir? Is it like Momir for your play group? I could definitely see I could definitely see the upside of that. Well, I think we have to, unfortunately, bolt this Guardian, mostly just to tap it. Hopefully our opponent doesn't discard. Wow. Oh, this deck is scary. This is humans trying to reanimate like Emrakul or something. Modern is a wild, wild place. Are playing Jays, is it fun? I feel like I would really have fun in small doses with playing Jays. I don't know if I'd want it to be like one of the main ways that I played Magic, but in small doses, it seems like it'd be super fun. Are we loaming? Probably. So we can loam. And then we get to discard and draw. We got a Quake Bringer in the graveyard. Yes. Discard. Discard. Draw, draw. Go to, ooh, this is actually pretty good. Go to combat attack. If our opponent blocks, we get to kill the Adeline, which would be huge game. Get in with the goblin about it. Ooh, not gonna risk it. All right. Well, in that case, we will play a Countryside Crusher. And Wooded Foothills and crack Wooded. If we get Emrakul, I swear. I swears. I swear. All right, grow the Countryside Crusher. Get a Stomping Grounds. Untapped. Fable the Mirror Breaker Part 2. Pass the turn. Have you played the Door to Nothingness meme deck in Modern yet? Is there like a new one? I mean, we've been playing Door to Nothingness meme decks in Modern since 2015. I mean, we've played Door to Nothingness in Modern, but I don't know if there's like some specific new version that if there is, then I haven't seen that. But we've definitely done like against the odds, Door to Nothingness in the past. It's not a meme deck. It's a great way to take advantage. I mean, a deck can be a great way to take advantage of something and still a meme deck, I think. It's hard for me to imagine Door to Nothingness not being a meme deck, but it would be, man, if there was ever, could you imagine a format where Door to Nothingness was the best card in the format? That would be heaven. literal heaven. About it goes to combat. Gets in with Adeline or not. Gets in with Adeline. Makes a 1/1. Well, we will kill the 1/1. We're actually going to get to see Quakebringer doing Quakebringer things. Down to 10. Untap. Wow, too many triggers. All right, Countryside Crusher. See what's on the top of our deck. It's a Countryside Crusher. Quakebringer. Hit you for 2. Dredge Loam. Grow the Crusher. Was that enough? Oh, that's the Crusher. Okay, grow the Crusher, grow the Crusher. Saga. Yes. Discard. Dredge Loam. This actually is kind of like Cruel Dredge. And then we'll just draw. Another Fable. Okay. Grow the Crusher. Flip the Saga. Things are actually looking pretty good. This is working. Countryside Crusher. Modern All-Star Countryside Crusher. Go to combat. Swing, and also swing. Here we come. Make some treasures. Yeah, isn't that kind of a sweet synergy? That you get to just pitch it and dredge it again immediately? Fable of Mirror Breaker is a messed up magic card. Opponent going to block. Sure. Are they trying to reanimate Adeline? Is that... Are they Goryo's Vengeancing Adeline? What is up? Why are there so many weird versions of humans lately? I mean, Door to Nothingness is actually not bad. The plan of using Timeless Lotus... That reminds... Like... What was the Against the Odds version? I feel like that's similar. Yeah, Timeless Lotus. So on Arena you don't have. We also had Nyx Bloom Ancient, which is ridiculous, but we are kind of trying to do something sort of similar. You don't have Amulet on Arena, but Door to Nothingness plus Teferi to untap it gets you the 10 mana to, or Timeless Lotus plus Teferi to untap it gets you the 10 mana to Door to Nothingness. So yeah, that is, I mean, that synergy is actually pretty legit. Opponent. Aspiring Spike just made a Timeless Lotus deck that shows opponent the door on turn 3. Okay, yeah. So does this mean we're dead? Okay. I don't know if we're literally dead, but this is definitely not great. Shining Shoal pitching Amiria's Call to hit us for 7. Discards to tap. So how do we remain alive? Can we remain alive? Is it possible? So if we kill this, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Oh, sharks keep moving. Welcome to the fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big scoop for you. Thank you. Huh. Well, I mean, I guess. Okay, so this just happens. We drop to 3. We lose a goblin. So we need to Bone Crusher Giant. Stop Rafine's Informant. Wow, that was a blowout. Bone Crusher Giant. Pass the turd. See if we die. We are on the edge. This is so close. Opponent goes to combat. Opponent attacks. Are we gonna lose to Shining Shoal? That would be the worst. Yeah, we're playing some old school Countryside Crusher action. We haven't drawn a Seismic Assault yet. Do you think that Modern would be a format without any of the cards that let you pitch something to pay for its cost? How do you think Modern would be as a format without any of the cards that let you pitch something to pay for its cost? Better? Maybe? I kind of lean towards better. Okay, we stay at 3. I am so confused. Are we going to die to... Do we have to... What do we do about Shining Shoal? How do we not die to Shining Shoal? Countryside Crusher. Land. Grow it. Quake Bringers. Ping ya. The Giants are doing work. No Dredging Loam. Clothis. Flip our Saga. And opponent scoops it up. Opponent scoops it up. Hey, what's up, Temporary? How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. I mean, yeah, opponent's deck is definitely spicy. I'm curious what the reanimation plan is. Like, what are they actually trying? Are they just reanimating random humans? Or are they actually reanimating, like, Emrakul? That would be so incredibly scary. Yes, we're playing old school Magic. I asked our opponent what they're trying to reanimate. Opponent said something big and white, I guess. I don't even know if they know what they're trying to reanimate at this point. I mean, I feel like it's a trap. I feel like hating the graveyard here is a trap, isn't it? Like, can you really bring in Leyline against human aggro champion of the perished? I kind of feel like we just play Magic, and if they somehow are reanimating an Emrakul and they get us, like, I mean, it's all temporary reanimation, right? It's all return it until end of turn. Yeah, I think we're just gonna run it back. Let's see this spike deck. Ah, good old Karn the Great Creator. Yeah, you can. I mean, Karn can beat just about anything. Oh wait, there no door to nothingness in the main deck. There's rules to this against the odds thing, Spike. Gotta play 4 copies in the main, or at least if you're playing Karn, you can play 1 in the sideboard and the rest in the main. But I think that's cheating. Yeah, I mean it's kind of like basically a Primeval Titan deck, but with Timeless Lotus where the Primeval Titan would be, which is kind of hilarious. Oh, can we keep? You know what? We can definitely keep this. This is the hand that dies to reanimation, though, if our opponent has it. About it. Marsh Flats. Adeline's annoying. We don't really have a way to kill an Adeline. Esper Sentinel. Well, that's also sort of annoying. Wooded Foothills, go. About it. Sheoldred's Abyss, eh? Ooh. Thalia's Lieutenant. Oh, well, I guess our opponent's going to get to draw a card, unfortunately. Unfortunately. Well, stopping rounds untapped. Yeah, this feels bad, but I think it's what we gotta do. Bolt the Sentinel, you draw a card. Boo. In hiss. But Esper Sentinel down. About it. Yeah, drawing a bunch of cards with the Sheoldred's out. Definitely super fun. Oh, do we draw even more lands? Golly gee, all the lands. Well, let's stomp on the Lieutenant. Try to keep the battlefield clear. Pass the turn. Yeah, I mean, Amulet into a bunch of bounce lands into Timeless Lotus is a lot of mana, that's for sure. I miss Simeon Spirit Guide, but I also love playing Blood Moon on turn 1, so about it. Esper Sentinel. Rough. Oh. Are we about to get reanimated? Oh, this This cannot be the sign of health. There ain't no way. There's something wrong with a world where human aggro is playing Atraxa. I mean, there's a lot of cards, several cards that I think would be unbannable in Modern. I mean, big and white, that is true, technically. So janky. So janky. This can't be correct, can it? So opponent gets a sorcery, an instant. I mean, I guess we'd probably do just lose because of this. Like, our opponent did just put a Atraxa into play. I'm not convinced that you should be bringing Graveyard Hate against this, honestly. I mean, I also am not. I don't know. Maybe this is the new way forward for humans. About it. I mean, 7. The life swing's one thing. It's more the drawing of like 4 cards or whatever. That's kind of the bigger issue. I don't think you're bringing 2 late. I think 2 ley lines is the worst case. So I think the issue is like, if you're gonna bring in ley lines, you're gonna have to cut stuff that is good against human tribal. That's kind of the issue, really. Can I have my Blood Moon shipped to you in sign? Yeah, of course. Send them to. Oh, I don't know what the command is. Yeah, but yeah, send me an email, sarafronaldo@mtggoldfish.com, and I get you the PO box info. Could be cutting Clothis. I mean, Clothis hates the graveyard though. Clothis is graveyard hate. Like if we had Clothis on the battlefield, this would have worked out, right? Opponent, Marsh Flats. I mean, I question the wisdom. Like, I don't know. It worked out for our opponent this game, but last game we saw our opponent's beatdown plan be disrupted by them drawing a bunch of dead Goryo's Vengeances and Priest of the Fell Rights. So, I mean, it's working out for them this game, but I don't know. I'm not particularly scared of this strategy. I'm not convinced this makes our opponent's deck better, basically. That is the TLDR of this situation. 5 is not much life, is it? Not much life at all. Well, we're going to be going even lower. Wooded Foils cracks it. I mean, it is. It's basic. I mean, but I guess that's Modern the format. It is the casino format. Seismic Assault. Pay 1. Shoot down Ravines and format. We probably died to Shining Shoal, right? I assume. Yep. All right. Well, I mean, that was something I've never seen anyone do before. Modern. The last game was what? Glimpse of Tomorrow, which is also literally, I mean, that's 2 Atraxas in a row. Apparently a lot of people are interested in trying to cheat Atraxa into play at the moment. Yeah, highlighted messages are just easier to see, basically. Also, good evening, Brick. How are you? What is your terrible revelation, Magikarp? Time to play 8-rack with Breach, Emrakul, same principle. Yeah, I mean, is this a real deck, or is this something our opponent just put together a brew? This is the first time I've seen someone trying to put Atraxa into play with humans. So like, there's a kind of the same thing we were talking about, is there being for our deck, for our deck, there's a cost to trying to fight against that. There's also a cost to our opponent's deck in terms of consistency, where if you look at our opponent's deck, like they're cutting things that are good with their primary game plan to have a chance to reanimate Atraxa. So if you're trying, and we saw it, like they're trying to they're playing Champion of the Parish, which requires a ton of humans in your deck. So they must be cutting Thalias, they must be cutting Solitudes, Hopeful Initiates. So basically, rather than your Champion of the Parish being good, your Champion of the Parish and your Thalia's Lieutenants are all going to be pretty medium, and you're hoping that your high rolling like casino aspect of maybe being able to get a Trox into play will make up for that. So basically, you're making your deck much less consistent for the chance of high rolling into free wins. It's a strategy. Made 2-card combo in Mono Black Devotion. Ooh. Well, what version of Atraxa are we up against this time? Oh yeah, you showed me this earlier, Necessary Theory. Yeah, I mean, if you can resolve a Peer into the Abyss with a Shouldered Out, that is a lot of life gain or a lot of damage. Hey, MTG Goldfish, I've been a regular Steam viewer and met you in Vegas in 2019. Just feeling sentimental. Want to thank you for the endless positivity and joy you bring to Magic. I appreciate all you do. Well, swing for 0. Thank you so much for the kind words. It really means a lot. It really does. Oh no, you're good. I appreciate all your deck lists, Necessary. I've got this cool Gruul Silex aggro deck. I still haven't killed anyone with Filigree Silex yet. It's been harder to get a bunch of oil counters on things than I was hoping. Well, it's just Wooded Foothills. This hand's interesting. We actually got the Assault Loam combo and a Giant, of course. I showed you my Carnage Tyrant at GB Vegas 2019. I don't know if you remember. Oh man, I'm sorry. Vegas 2019. I met so many people and signed so many cards. Was there something special? Jog my memory. Was there something to make the Carnage Tyrant stand out? Because off the top of my head, I don't remember it. I feel bad. Oh, an oversized Carnage Tyrant. Okay, that actually, yes. That was like at the very end of the weekend, right? Like, did he wear pants? Wait, did who wear pants? I mean, one of the perks of streaming is technically, should we start? How do we do this? We could start besieging. We can loan back the land. That's probably the correct play. All right, Life from the Loam, but we got to make read mana. Are y'all going to Vegas this year? Yeah, I do remember the oversized Carnage Tyrant now that you mention it. Well, good to see you again. Oh, Carnage Tyrant wearing pants. Oh, how are you, Paladin? Good to see you. My voice, we're like an hour into the stream and the voice isn't doing too bad. I think this coffee, I never drink coffee at night, but this coffee I think is curing all of my ills. My voice is holding up. I mean, that's why that's the main perk of streaming. What other job do you technically never have to wear pants because people can only see your top half? To Fairy, opponent going to tick up to Fairy and passes. Well, Dredgeloam, Wooded Foothills, Crackwooded Foothills, Get a Mountain, Fable of the Mirror Breaker, pass the turn. I guess hand model, yeah. Hand model, that's even better. Hand mounted get it weird. You don't even have to wear anything, do you? you're just good. As long as your nails are clipped, you're good. Opponent bounces and passes. Well, dredge a loam. Discard a loam and I guess a loam. Draw. Well, okay, so Stomp to Fairy. I don't feel good about our opponent having so much mana of so many colors. Opponent has Archmage's Charm. Well, play Beseiju. And Utopia Sprawl on red, and again attempt to Stomp to Fairy. Just die already. I have no dad. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big scoop cheer for you. Thank you. Oh my god, we didn't talk about this. Did you all Did you all see the alchemy rebalancings from like a day ago, 2 days ago? We didn't talk about it on Tuesday's stream. Y'all gotta explain this to me. You gotta explain. I do not understand what is going on with this format, with the idea. Well, how do we only have one land in our graveyard at this point? That's actually super awkward. Well, we can loan back one Magic the Gathering land card. One land. We're 22 cards deep. We gotta talk about these unbalancings. That's probably a good way to put it. But we gotta talk about these balancings because I'm so confused. I don't understand what's going on with this format. Johnny Cycles, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big scoop cheer for you. Thank you. About it. Seeds Clothis, cracks Flooded Strand. Going to counter the Clothis with some manas in a counter spell. Do you think cards like Fable and Mirror Breaker that are played, didn't counter it, in Modern and Standard will drop in Moto on price after rotation, or since most Standard players are on Arena will save $50+ on Moto, the price is just too high to get 4 of for a Modern deck? My expectation would not be that it would drop a ton, unfortunately. Opponent going to Solitude. Well, okay. I think this means we bolt before Ephemerate comes down. Bolt the Solitude. All right. Threat down. Clothis on the battlefield. Assault in hand if we can ever get it down. Yeah, so much Standard play is on Arena now that I don't think much of the price... Oh, Hall of Heliod's Generosity. I don't think much of the price is attached to Standard at this point. Draft is the big issue. Like, the main way cards come to Moto... What did they just do? Oh, they got Kahira, okay. The main way cards come to Moto... Well, Dredgeloam. Eat a Archmage's Charm. Loam back 2 lands. Do we just play Seismic Assault? Is it worth it to run it out and just hope for the best? I wish we could hit some cycling lands that draw cards. That would have made this better. But yeah, many drafters switch to Arena. So now less cards are coming into Magic Online, which is fine for Standard because less people are playing Standard. So it kind of evens out. Like Standard players and Limited players leave. So Standard's okay, but lots of people still play Modern in Legacy and Pioneer. So the fact that people aren't drafting as much to open those cards is leaving those cards short in supply and making them really expensive for Modern and Pioneer and whatnot. Deck needs more swans. Yeah. We got giants. We got giants instead of swans. I'm missing something. Our battle's not great in 60 card competitive. You need creatures to win the battle, but but if you're playing a creature deck, aren't you racing the sweeper? I think it really depends on the battle. I think the best battles are battles where the front side is essentially a sorcery. Like those are the best battles. The best battles, the front side stands alone as a sorcery that's technically a permanent. So if you look at cards like Invasion of Phyrexia, Invasion of Travolta, there's a bunch of them. Essentially, the front side is already on rate, and then I think the back side is just upside. But I do think there are concerns about whether that play pattern is going to be worth it. Like, how often are people actually going to be attacking them? That's a legit question, and I do think that could end up being annoying, that maybe people are not going to play them in the way that they were intended to be played, if that makes sense. Boy, we are not good at milling lands. We are really not good at milling lands. Well, eat to fairy. Boy, what do we even do? I mean, I guess we loam back a land? I don't even think we want to fetch more lands out of our deck. If we could find a cycling land, then we'd be in good shape. Yeah, we can. Let me pull it. We can look at the battle. I was working on today a battle tier list that just goes in depth on the battles. So that's something I'm hoping to have up in a few days. So it's still in progress. But if you look at the battles, how do we do this? I'm really scared to run out Seismic Assault here. Now let's loam back a land. This is the slowest, most depressing loam. Somehow we've just milled all of our good cards and none of our lands. Pass the turn. If we ever get this Seismic Assault down, look out. We are gonna shock your face so many times. But if you look at battles, I would say Invasion of Phyrexia, Invasion of Chandelar, Invasion of Alara, Invasion of Fiora, Invasion of Ikoria, Invasion of Tavolda, Invasion of Asglow, whatever the looting one is, Urgamon, Invasion Urgamon, like all of those sagas are all of those battles, and arguably a few more. The front side is just already costed in the way that a sorcery would be costed, which I think means they're going to be good cards. Like I think that's all that it takes. If the front side is costed like the sorcery version would be costed, the card is probably going to be good. Yeah, and you get all these extra upsides. Remember, these are, like, for example, Invasion of Ikoria, it's Finale of Devastation, but it's a Finale of Devastation that's leaving 2 green mana symbols on the battlefield, which is pretty relevant for, like, mono green devotion decks. It kind of makes it free-ish. You play this on 5, get your Old Growth Troll. You kind of do that for free, because Nykthos makes back all that mana. So that's an upside. Or, like, Invasion of Alara. One of the things I'm excited about with Invasion of Alara is it seems really sweet in Yarion 5-color Niv style decks in, like, Explorer, where you just play this, Cascade, draw a card, Yorion, Blanket, Cascade, draw a card, keep doing that. So there's a bunch of like interesting tricks that come with being essentially spells that are actually permanents. Well, let's keep looming. At what point should we just slam this Seismic Assault and hope for the best? I mean, our opponent's never going to tap down, right? Probably not yet. Let's pass. Hey, welcome, Conman AU. Good to have ya. Tango, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big subscription for you. Thank you. You should know what your cards do before you put them in your deck. What cards are we talking about? About it. Uh-oh. Okay, prismatic ending. Sure. Boy, I really would love to mill a cycling land. We're trying not to crack these fetches because our only fetchable lands are cycling lands, and if we ever find cycling lands, oh my god. This is some of the worst loaming I've ever seen. All right, we will pass the turn. Am I going to? I'm not going to be at Richmond. Tomer and Krim are going to Richmond. I will be staying around to do early access day and podcasts and so forth. I mean, we have 3 cycling lands. The more we loam, the closer we get to hitting the cycling lands. I think at this point it's kind of just unfortunate that we haven't hit one yet. Hey, there we go. That's what we were looking for. Now, with a cycling land, we can loam and also do other stuff. Mr. Hearly Girl, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. Well, get back our stuff. Oh, we really want to resolve this seismic assault. Okay. How about Fable of the Mirror Breaker? I mean, if we can run our opponent out of counters, we have so many. Maybe they're out of counters. Maybe we should just be going for it. We have a nearly lethal amount of damage just sitting in hand. About it. Solitude. How many counters should we be worried about? About it. It is kind of spicy dredge. I could see that. Kahira to grow. The Solitude. We already saw an Archmage Charm, right? So we know there's at least some counters. Opponent goes attacking. Sure. Down to 18. Takes up to Fairy. We need to draw something that... Blood Moon. That might be the something. I was going to say we need to draw something that essentially just like forces our opponent's hand. And this Blood Moon might be the card. Yes. Discard a couple lands. Draw Bolt. And a red. Okay. Can we do this? Yeah, there's a Teferi up here. Blood Moon hurts us more at the moment. Yeah, I guess it kind of does, doesn't it? Yeah, that is awkward. Do we cast the loam finally? Is it time to just run it out? Oh, it's covered by the chat. You can't see it. Interesting. Oh, you're right. Hang on. That's because we're not in stream mode. There we go. I mean, the clock's not that much of an issue, is it? Ren in 6. Lightning Bolt. Solitude. Force a negation. Well, I guess this is the time. So I think we should have a forest, right? We should have a forest somewhere. So Misty Rainforest. Crack it for hopefully a forest, I believe. Okay, one forest. 1, 2, 3. Come on. There better not be a counter here. Seismic Assault. Kill Kahira. Kill Solitude. Loam. Get back 3 lands. Kill Teferi. Oh boy. Going off. Going off. Going off. Kill the Teferi red. Get back the land. And that was a good turn. That was a good turn. We did it. We actually got through the Teferis and the Solitudes. The Seismic Assault is down. Oh, they got another one. Okay, Teferi returns. Opponent gives us back our Bone Crusher. Leyline Binding. Our Seismic Assault. Super obnoxious. Yep. I think we have one Seismic Assault left. I think. Maybe. Yeah, we are getting low on cards. But that's okay. That's all right. We'll find our last Seismic Assault and close this out. Since Seth thought Arena Zoomer is about stacks and historic, does anyone else want to see him do it again when Mom drops? It's got a few more toys for stacks. What are... Oh, now our Quakebringer gets to go off. What are the new toys we got for stacks for Mom? All right, Dredge Low. Flip the Saga. Kill Teferi. Hit you with Crushy Crusherton. Opponent. Down to 9. Is it even worth Blood Mooning here? I don't even know if it's worth it. Get back some lands. Cycle Sheltered. Oh, dumb. Yeah, I'll just pass. We should have cycled Sheltered Thicket first so we could get the card draw back, I think. But oops. Oops. I'm not sure if it's worth it or not, because we go down to 1 green source, which is kind of awkward. Okay, Supreme Verdict. Opponent passing. Well, cycle Sheltered Thicket. No dredge. Cycle Sheltered Thicket. No dredge. Oh my god, all the lands. Okay. Untap. No dredge. Oh! Okay. I like that one. That is a good one. So 1, 2, 3. I mean, that looks like lethal to me. Beseiju. Hit your Leyline Binding. And GG. Yeah, how you going to counter this one? How you going to counter this one, control opponent? Wait, are they going to counter this one? Control opponent? I was kidding. I didn't think you could. Don't really do it. Okay, Desperate Memory Deluge, looking for that stifle. I mean, we just win if this resolves, right? We just discard all the lands and our opponent dies. Bushwards, welcome to the fishbowl. Nimble Obstructionist would be so brutal. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super chat for you. Thank you. About it. Would you like to get a land? I mean, this should just be game unless I'm missing something. Throw a land at your face. Hit our Jacquin. Deal some damage. Okay. How about a land at your face? And how about a land at your face? And maybe another land at your face. Healing Solve would have gotten us here. We'd be in trouble. Hit ya about it. Dead. It resolves. There's one more trigger on this deck, and we actually managed to sneak our way through there. That was pretty good. We managed to dodge the counters, dodge the interaction, and pull off the win. Quantum, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Could Teferi's protection be modern legal? I mean, technically anything could be modern legal, but I don't know if that would be a positive. I don't know what. I mean, on one hand, it's legal on Arena in Historic, and it doesn't really see play that I've seen, but it's hard to get a grasp on the Historic meta because there's no tournaments really. So maybe it would be okay. I don't know. Punishment for playing. Ooh, yeah, Torbrand. Torbrand can stack us up. This reminds me of like a Torbrand commander deck almost, trying to stack up all the little ways to deal damage and then increase them with Torbrand. Yeah, it looks fun. How do we want to sideboard against this deck? We don't really have anything, do we? Do we sideboard at all? Leyline? Probably no. Brothers of Den, no. Feed the Clan, no. Force of Vigor, maybe. Force to get rid of... I mean, a quick Blood Moon would get him, I think. Yeah, maybe a Force or two is the best we got. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think would happen with Teferi's protection? Would that just break the format? Yeah, I could see bringing in a couple Vigors. Maybe... I mean, we also got to think our opponent's probably going to bring in Graveyard Hate, which then increases the value of the Force of Vigors. Maybe go down like a Bolt. And... I mean, I guess we also have the Besagius. Maybe one. How about one Force of Vigor? Teferi's protection does self-exile. A random thought I had last night. Is Dark Depths a good card to sideboard against Elish Norn? I'm confused. What is the interaction between Elish Norn and Dark Depths? Bringing in, yeah, Vigor would combo with Seismic Assault. Hit our Vigor, add some counters. Hey, what's up, Birch Burglar Lord? How are you? Good to see ya. Oh, I got this. Oh boy, I don't think we can keep this. That is a lot of lands. Okay. We will give this a go. Whether or not this will make it be good enough, we'll see. Come on, Blood Moon. Come on, Blood Moon. All of our hopes and dreams tied up in this Blood Moon. About it. What do you got? Oh, also, this, Steam Vents. Sure. Sure. Well, Stomping Grounds tapped. So wait, what is your take on these rebalancings? So I know, like, Alchemy, whatever, we've talked about this a million times, and we also got to not time out this match, which is on our to-do list to not do. We will try to avoid the timing out. Wooded Foothills. Crack Wooded Foothills. Grab a forest. Play Utopia's. I gotta ask you about these rebalancings, though, because I'm so confused. On red. Ren. Get back the land. I mean, if we just get to untap and slam Blood Moon, we're probably going to be in pretty good shape. Ario SW. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup to you. Thank you. Yeah, so far, I mean, we've played 2 casino decks, but the decks actually felt pretty solid. Hey, good to be off work, Ario. All right, get back to land, hopefully. Ooh, opponent fetched out a non-basic. Greed. All right. Play a Triome. Pass and don't counter the Blood Moon. All right, opponent found a basic. And Teferi. What will Teferi do? Going to take up Teferi. Well, that does make things worse. Well, now if we play it, our opponent just kills it, which is a bummer. So I guess we need to Wooded Foothills. Crack it. I guess we're just on the thin the deck plan. No. Ren. Take it up, get back the land. Pass the turn. Opponent. I still want to ask you about the rebalancings because some of these are like, they're so ridiculous. Like the one that caught my eye is the opponent. Wow. Could have bounced the Utopia Sprawl, but chose not to. Interesting. Teferi down to 2. Come on. Come on, opponent. Opponent passes. We draw a Loam. I mean, Loam's not bad. It's pretty good. Now, Wooded Foothills. Crack Wooded Foothills. Stomping Grounds untapped. I think. I don't know what to do here. Get back the land. We were doing a whole lot of nothing. I don't even want to play anything. I think we still just pass. Yeah, let's just pass. See what happens. About it. Cycles a Triumph. Next turn, what we can do is try to double up. Play the Seismic Assault, and if that gets countered, hopefully the Blood Moon resolves, or vice versa. Opponent passes. Loam again. Well, okay. Wooded Foothills. Crack Wooded Foothills. Stomping Grounds. Which is more important here is the question. Like that's the question. Which one is more important? Because we should be able to resolve one, hopefully. If we play Blood Moon, then we resolve Seismic Assault. Is Assault actually more important? Assault does kill Teferi, although we can Ren ping Teferi to keep it from really doing anything. This turn at least. I think we lead on Seismic Assault. Seismic Assault. If they encounter both of them, then we're going to be very sad. Oh, okay. Unexpected. Well, ping your Teferi. Oh, this is... I was not expecting this at all. Discard a land. Kill Teferi. Oh, no. Oh, do we just... Oh, my goodness. Do we just slam Blood Moon? We could try to Loam. Oh, they gotta have something. Well, let's discard a land, hit ya. If they had, I feel like if they had Leyline Binding, they would have used it by now, probably. Oh, okay, pass the turn. Pass it. What is happening? What is in our opponent's hand? Why is life going so well? I don't understand. I know. I feel bad for not slamming the moon. But I feel like it's correct not to. March of Otherworldly Light. I'll hit ya. So opponent would have had the answer to the Blood Moon. Hit ya. All right. Well, we did some damage. Yeah, opponent they were prepared. They're playing around it. They know that it gets them. Oh, they don't even say that, Magikarp. Don't even say that. Don't even say it. We got to go through at least one match without getting a Troxid. Bonus. Oh, Archmage's Charm mana up. So I think we just draw. No dredge. Yeah, Countryside Crusher. That's a big boy. That's a big boy. So play Wooded Foothills. Play Countryside Crusher. Come on, tap out to counter that. Tap out to counter that. Opponent does not tap out to counter that. Well, we will. All right, crack the land. Crack the land. Grow the Crusher. Moon would have been protected. Wait, how would the moon have been protected? I'll take a cycling land, unfortunately. Loam for 3 lands. Pass the turn. All right, opponent. What do you got? What do you got? We're gonna slam the moon. We're waiting. We're waiting for the right moment. We're pressuring. We're pressuring. We're baiting. And then the moon comes down and just slams the door shut once our opponent has to tap out to deal with our stuff. To fairy. This might be the turn. Bounces the Crusher. Oh, passing. Passing. This might be the one. No, no dredging. We managed to draw another land anyway. Well, 1, 2, 3. Countryside Crusher. Play the fetch land. Blood Moon you? Oh, they have literal counterspell too. Okay. Well, we tried. We played around as much as we could. Pass the turn. Well, we really wanted that Blood Moon. Moon it untaps. I'm sure we can figure out something to teach those arena zoomers. Memory Deluge. Boy, opponent waited forever to counter that Blood Moon. That's for sure. That is for sure. Opponent, Misty Rainforest. Well, crack the Wooded Foothills. Grow the Countryside Crusher. Don't get a land. Countryside Crusher. Well, Fable's good. No dredge. Fable the Mirror Breaker. Get a goblin. Go to combat. Kill our opponent. Hit our opponent. I wish it was kill our opponent. Yeah, what's the next thing to teach arena zoomers about? That's the real question. We are getting low on clock. That's going to be a problem at some point. Opponent cracks the fetch. We have fetched out like so many lands. I really hope we get to loot with this. Okay, with this Fable. Opponent. Solitude. Pitching Supreme Verdict. To eat the Crusher while past the turn. Opponent at 8. Untaps with Teferi. Ticks it up. Oh, come on. We need this loot to find some action. We've thinned our deck very impressively. This is so close. 5-color humans? That could be a good one. Arena Zoomers probably need to learn about that. I don't think there's the ability to build Lantern. If they ever add Lantern of Insight to Arena, yes, 100%. 100% we will teach Arena Zoomers about it. Otherwise, Stasis, that would be a really good one. I keep hoping they're going to add more cards like that, but we'll see. Opponent passes. No loaming. Discard some lands. Draw some cards. We're actually not that far away from winning. Yeah, Archmage's Charm does seem to be represented by our opponent's hand here. Their mana. Yes. Discard. No loam. And 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, let's loam. So, go to combat. Go to combat. Do some attacking. Oh, we milled a seismic assault. Hit the Teferi. Down to 1. Loam back some lands. Countryside Crusher. Play the land. Pass the turn. Oh, can we close it out? Can we close it out? Oh, Mystic Stagnation is super brutal. Should not have loamed. I think it was right. Like, I don't think you can judge the rightness or wrongness of the loaming by what gets milled because it's random. Oh, another Supreme Verdict. All right, but it's all about them verdicts. Still with like a cycling land. Opponent passes. No loam. Oh, if we could ever resolve this. 1, 2. Stomp the Teferi. Oh, opponent's patience is impressive. How do they never tap out when we have a Blood Moon in hand? How is that possible? All right, pass the turn. Somehow. Like, opponent just lets her Teferi die, doesn't even think twice. You gotta find a format where you can play Pendril Mist, the Enchantment Tabernacle. Yeah, I'd have to go back to Legacy, I guess. Opponent. They have another Wrath here. Like, we're kind of... could be in a bad spot. We know they have a... Memory Deluge. I mean, I guess if our opponent taps out for a Wrath, then the Blood Moon's going to resolve. Leyline Binding. To get the Bone Crusher. Okay. Well, draw. Lightning Bolt. Well, go to combat. Hit you with Reflection of Kiki Jiki. Well, I guess we passed the turn. Leyline Binding. Hits the Reflection of Kiki Jiki. Opponent. Yeah, you know they're going to counter it. Hall of Heliod's Generosity. The problem is they get to start Memory Deluging to go 7 cards deep now. Hall of the Storm Giants. Well, we need to draw something. Or resolve something, which is apparently impossible. Opponent, Hall of the Storm Giants hits us. Down to 7. We draw. Come on, deck. Come on, deck. Absolute worst timing to draw loam. You know they have the counter spell. Like that's the problem. They're just gonna counter spell it. Our opponent is played around this blood moon amazingly well, but we don't have a choice. So yeah, all right, go ahead. Opponent pump fakes. I wonder if this deck could. Is there any land destruction we could play? I guess it's tough with Seismic Assault. Opponent says Xaxis, huh? Which I'm confused about. So does this mean they're countering and then winning with Hall the Storm Giant? Opponent, just cast your counter spell. Oh my god, opponent, please. For the love of God, if you got it, just cast it. Please. I mean, if they don't have it and they have something else, and they're thinking, that makes sense, but. So opponent floats mana. Okay. Well, we pass the turn. Opponent untapped. We still could very well be dead, but we resolved the Blood Moon. We actually got it down. Opponent, Mountain. Hall of the Storm Giant not killing us here. With just 2 blue mana, our opponent's life is much harder. Somehow it's on turn 1,000,000, and they did not manage to get basic lands outside of 2 islands. Come on, deck! Come on, deck! Give us something. No loam. I mean, the problem is we're still in a position where if they can just bounce... Oh, Utopia's Brawl. If they can just bounce... If they can just bounce, then they win. Pass the turn. 2 minutes on the clock. Do they have something? Oh, they get to go digging. Yeah, these 2 islands are gonna be enough. Got to bolt them when the blue is down. I mean, bolting to 2 doesn't do anything though. Oh boy, I think we're still gonna lose. Would be my guess. Why can't we have all his dust on Arena? It seems like we should be able to. Opponent. I mean, I think our opponent was thinking, I guess. The fact that they didn't have the counter spell means they were probably actually trying to think through, I don't know what exactly, but think through something. If they just had the counter spell and tapped and untapped for 2 minutes, that would have felt worse. Okay. Interesting. Well, we'll put this on green and pass the turn. Opponent. If they tap out for Memory Deluge, I think we just go for it. Or tap down. They'll have 1 blue mana. Opponent does not. They untap. My god, this game. This game has been so ridiculous. Opponent. Oh, tapping the blue mana. Tapping the blue mana. Tapping the blue mana. Untapping the blue mana. Oh, we were so close. Oh, tapping the red mana. Huh? Chalice on 3. Okay. Yes. Yes, that is legal. That shuts down a Seismic Assault. And a lot of our other cards, honestly. Yeah, no loaming. Well... I guess it's Quakebringer time. Cast it. Are we gonna win this? Oh, is this? Do we just go? Do we just go? They have one blue mana. They have one blue mana. They could have Force Negation though. It's not gonna get any better than this, right? Bolt you. Bolt you. Oh, we did it! Oh my goodness, I can't believe we got there. Wow. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Oh yeah, you're right. Jail's on 3 Steps Force, doesn't it? Wow, that was a long, close, grindy, scary game. Oh, whoa, I can't believe we got there. I cannot believe we actually got there that game. Oh, well, that was actually, I guess, a pretty good example of what the deck can do in some ways. Blood Moon, boy, we waited and waited and waited and waited and finally found a way to sneak it through, and that was enough. It's funny, Blood Moon, like, it's actually sometimes the games that get the hype for Blood Moon are the ones where someone like plays it on turn 2 and it's just nothing happens. It's a non-game. They just get a free win. But in games like that, it's actually very, very interesting. Like it adds this whole huge element to the game where we're trying to figure out how to resolve it. Our opponent's got to think about what lands they're fetching out. That's the kind of stuff that makes older formats of Magic so great. Like in Standard, usually that stuff doesn't matter. You're not concerned about that stuff. What triome you get isn't going to make a difference, but that can be the difference between winning and losing in a format like Modern with cards like Blood Moon around. So this means, is it Giants for Pioneer at some point, Seth? The Kaldheim Giants putting in work. That's true. That Quakebringer eating that counter spell was key. That was key. Well, yeah, we're getting close to the tree. Oh, we'll have to try. I feel like we did Giants a long time ago, but I feel like we need to bring them back at some time. Also, I don't know if you saw this going around. I saw this from Canister. It's a format tier list. I don't know if you've seen these. The part that's been hilarious to me is if you see people on Twitter posting these, Alchemy is, and I'm sure it's Twitter, and I'm sure that's part of it, but boy, Alchemy gets crapped on quite a bit in these. Irish Rager, hey, we got a raid. Welcome, Raiders. Irish Rager, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. And Karstinen, welcome. Thank you so much for the raid. Hopefully you had a wonderful stream. Good to see y'all. Yes, we will play first. Well, we got Giants. We got Giants for days, and there's all of our cycling lands that we kind of want in our deck. We might have to, I'm kind of curious what y'all think. Like, so if you look at this tier list, I'm not actually sure. So you got worst formats and then objectively lame. I don't really understand the difference. Wouldn't like an objectively lame format be the worst among the worst? Like, I don't really understand. So there's like, worst formats, objectively lame, which I'm not sure the difference. Okay, I guess is like average. I like those as, I guess, good, and then never heard of in board games. I'm not exactly sure about the structure of the tier list exactly, but Abash Giants. You probably could make Abash Giants work, actually. In objectively isn't fun to play, but it could be structured fine. Worst formats have structural problems. Wait, what do you think So I'm imagining that, I assume, coming from like a 60 card perspective, if you're mostly like a spiky player, I would put stuff like Commander. I kind of think of Commander as a board game type format, or Plane Chase. I'm imagining that's where like the get around your kitchen table with your play group or your friends and play a game formats grow. At least that's how I would use those for that category. Yeah, the tiers are very weird, aren't they? Oh, I guess you can't. Can you edit it? Oh, you can. Oh, so you could just fix it, I guess. I didn't realize that was an option. I thought it was actually set in stone, but apparently not. We might try to do it real quick in between matches. I'm curious where all of you would rank formats, because I know where should just remake it from S to F. That would probably be simplest. Ooh, Gobos? Ether Vial off of a Den of the Bugbear. Gotta be goblins, I would assume. This hand seems fine against goblins. Kind of a bummer that we had to use 2 of our cycling lands, but yeah, maybe we'll remake it real quick and go through it. First top 10 is right. Oh, wow, you're on top of things, Neotuk. Auntie's Hovel. Dead giveaway. Dead giveaway for goblins. All right, Snoop. Well, that must die. Kill the Snoop. Well, I mean, I guess we're just going to do Fable the Mirror Breaker things. We can Fable the Mirror Breaker to get Quakebringer in the graveyard and start our Giant Burn plan. Maybe after this match, take a look at those Alchemy Balancing Use we want to talk about. Yes, okay, remind me. Because I do want to try to figure out what's going on with that format and see if it's just me that, like, feels weird about them. About it. 5-color. That would be a good way to get people. No one would think changelings if you're playing these lands. Everyone's thinking actual goblins. Most tier lists don't need more than 3 to 4 tiers. Yeah, like, so normally I would say, like, you need, like, S and A. I don't know. S, A, B, C, F is probably fine. If you want to be more exact, like, S, A, B, C, D, F, like school grades, essentially. So the one thing we heard from Wizards about battles is that they expect, if there are future battles, which it sounds like there will be, but it seemed like their expectation was, oh God, not the best Blood Moon matchup ever. I kind of wish we hadn't discarded that land now. Well, I guess we just keep fabling then. Fable the Mirror Breaker past the turn. The one thing Wizards said is that what makes sieges are that you... Yeah, I guess it should be, though. Come on now. If you were a cool teacher, you would have S be a grade. But one thing Wizard said about battle, so what makes a siege is you give it to your opponent to defend. So Wizards made it sound like there will be non-siege battles in the future, and how they would likely work is you would play the battle, you would try to defend it, and your opponent would try to attack it. So presumably it would play, I guess, kind of like Planeswalker static abilities is, I guess, what would make the most sense. Like, you play it, it has some powerful static ability that you want to keep on the battlefield, and your opponent can attack it down, and once they attack it, maybe it just goes away, or maybe it's a double face card and they get it for some benefit. So it sounds like it would basically just flip who is attacking and who is defending is what it sounds like. Do you think battles... So one of the questions for battles was, would it feel like a new card type? And does it feel like a new card type to you? And by that I mean, like, could Wizards have done what they wanted to do with an existing card type? Well, flip our Fable. Oh my goodness, opponent got the absolute... Wow, did they get the full 4? No. Matron, Ringleader, Matron, Hordemaster? Was that... Oh my goodness, that is the best Ringleader. They feel a little bit like enchantments, don't they? I found myself sometimes they seem so enchantment-y to me, is I find myself thinking like how they would synergize with a Sethis or like an enchant, like, oh, can I like use this to draw a card with my Sethis? That'd be kind of sweet. And then it takes a minute for me to like connect. Oh wait, actually no. These are battles, they're not actually enchantments. But I mean, the flipping part and the counters are kind of unique. Finally caught you streaming. Just want to let you know I love your content that you put out. I've been religiously watching all. Hey, well, thank you for Great for You. I appreciate the kind words. Welcome to the stream, by the way. Oh boy, how do we beat this handful of goblin action? That is a handful of goblin action. Well, okay, so step 1. Attack with a goblin. Get a treasure. Opponent. Going to trade. Well, 1, 2, 3. Countryside Crusher. Wooded Foothills. Crack Wooded Foothills. Grow the Crusher. Grab a mountain. Oh, yeah, we're going shields down. Life from the Loam. Get back 2 lands. Save us, Countryside Crusher. You are our only hope. Seth, sometimes I listen to your voice at 1/2 speed. Really? I probably sound super drunk. anytime I listen to anything on half speed, it sounds like someone is very, very drunk. I listen to pretty much all content on either 1.5 or 2 speed, depending on the content. I cannot do 1 speed for pretty much anything. And oh my goodness, half speed would probably drive me up the wall. Come on, whiff a little, hit a land or 2. Okay, or 3. That's good. That's good. Cavern, secluded courtyard. So the first ringleader was absurd. The second one not as absurd. And we got a Countryside Crusher. Who can beat a Crusher? Actually, I think our opponent can matron up the Terminate Goblin thing. Or, oh, that was just their draw for the term. Okay, they don't even need to matron it up. Yeah, this is looking grim. Grim. And a Runbout Horde Master. About it. Goes on the big attack. We get pretty smacked. We will not loam. We will draw another land that we don't want. Goblins. We'll play a Wren. Snipe the Horde Master. Verdant Catacombs. Pass the turd. The problem is they can just keep matroning up removal. Like, that ringleader for 4 is tough. That is very, very tough to beat a ringleader hitting 4 cards. About it. Yeah, if you're used to watching me on YouTube at X2, I imagine the stream feels incredibly slow. Not only is it like slower in absolute sense, but YouTube gets edited down so the gameplay's faster and everything anyway, so yeah, we can make the Fables, although the problem is, well, we'll see what our opponent does. I assume they just matron up another munitions expert and kill a Fable. And there's not a ton we can do about that. Matron. Or they matron up another ringleader. This Vial on 4 has done some serious work. Sling Gang Lieutenant. Well, I mean, killing a ringleader, I guess. I think we're mostly dead, though, right? Like, is there any way we get out of this? So kill a random dork. Yeah, ringleader hitting 4 is just too much to overcome. Oh, boom it. Make some goblins. And attacks. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, so it's very complicated now. All right, so we got to block. Make a copy. Oh! 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 All of our opponents' draws between the matrons were munitions experts. Jeez. Wow. That is brutal. Hey, thank you for the bits, Ario. I recall you referencing how Saga felt like implementation Planeswalkers should have been. I view battles much the same as the other side of the coin. Who knows? We might get battle sagas in the future. Ooh. Could you have battles that were also sagas? Maybe. All right, Miracle Draw. Let's get a Miracle Draw. Sheltered Thicket. I mean, we don't even have a sweeper in the deck. I guess we need to do it there. Actually, okay. I mean, I don't... So Ren pings this. I guess we do that. So ping down the Sling Game, Lieutenant. For how much our opponent's done and drawn, I feel like they should be winning by way more. I feel like we should be dead by now. The fact that we're not seems like it's kind of a vote of no confidence for the poor goblins over there. Because shouldn't we just be like super done for? They've like tutored, they hit forward with Ringleader, they've drawn 2 munitions experts. I feel like our opponent should be way more ahead than they actually are. How about a Seismic Assault? A Loom. Yeah, no, it's too slow. Why would you not make a copy to block? Yeah, we didn't have the stop set, so we couldn't make it ahead of time. Our opponent had the removal anyway, so it actually wouldn't have really mattered in the end. But that was the issue. If they didn't have the second munitions expert, which apparently our opponent's very good at drawing munitions expert, if they didn't have the second munitions expert, we could have kept the copy going. So we still would have had like infinite limited by our mana. Dorks. Finish the first mom story. It was okay. Is it worth finishing the rest? Is the magic story good? We're keeping this. We desperately need to draw a land. We desperately need to draw land. If we do, life is pretty good. If we don't, we're going to be sad. We're going to get a non-basic. We're in full-on greed mode here. On a red. Pass the turn. Land. Land for Fable of the Mirrorbreaker. About it. Andy's Hovel. Reveals a Mog Fanatic. Plays a Mog Fanatic. Well, that is a land. That is what we were hoping for. Fable the Mirrorbreaker. We're the Goblin deck now. What are some decent tribal decks in Modern? So, in Modern, Merfolk are reasonably effective. What is the highest tier tribal deck right now? Probably Merfolk. Goblins are not bad. They're not insane, but they're not bad. Opponent kills our token. Goes attacking. Down to 16. Well, I guess we discard a Fable. See if we can hit a land. Brotherhood's End. Well, let's just sweep. Sweep the board, flip the Fable, pass the turn. Opponent didn't even bother to ping us. So yeah, those I guess are the big ones. There's really not a ton. Merfolk, goblins, humans, I guess, spirits are like tier 2, tier 3 decks. Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess elementals. I'd never really think of elementals as a tribal deck because I think of like playing lords and being aggro, but I guess it is tribal. It is a bunch of creature types with synergies that power each other up. So From that perspective, I guess it actually is a tribal deck. It just doesn't always feel like it. Well, flip the Saga. Play another Fable. I mean, we have Loam. It feels like at some point we should be able to just like Loam and really wreck this Goblin deck. We'll see. Yeah, Spirits is good. Spirits is very good in Pioneer. If you're interested in Pioneer. Merfolk has gotten a lot better. Modern Horizons 2 definitely really helped Merfolk. Sevulin, huge deal. Hey Seth, are you doing early access day next week? If so, I got a brew for you. Yes, that was actually on my list of things to bring up today. Early access day is a week from today. So next Thursday stream, we get to be checking out the new set. If you have standard brews that you would like to check out on early access day, hit me up. So discard. Huh. 1, 2, 3. So we need to play the Loam. I guess we just discard Loam, but don't dredge. We draw Beseiju. So, go to combat. Hit you with the token. Opponent. But yeah, definitely hit me up with decks. And I'd like to do a fish tank for the new set too. So multiple places to get your deck shown off. Kill the Fanatic, pass the turn. So what do we got here? Rakdos Sack. This is one of the battles I'm interested in. I don't know if it's worth flipping, but it seems decent enough as removal. Circuit Mender, Cult Conscript. That's an interesting take on Sack. Normally when I see Rakdos Sack, I think Oni Called Anvil, but this is kind of a unique take. Right, opponent, run Beltord Master. I think we're in good shape this game. Mog Fanatic. Have you tried brewing around Seance and Historic now that it's on Arena? I've been playing it with Sigardian Evangel. I haven't yet. It was on the Against the Odds poll, but it didn't win. But it is a card I do like. I am interested in. We're going to kill the Horde Master. I mean, I don't even care at this point. We're going to block. If they want to sack their entire board to kill the Reflections, I think that's fine. I'll crack this. Opponent pings. Sure. I mean, we got the assault down. We got the seismic assault, so life is good. Once we get to this point, this is where our deck can really shine. Do some loaming. Flip the Saga. Loam back 3 lands. Go to combat, hit ya. And we'll just pass. Pass and loam him. Seance is a super cool card. Opponent. What are we bouncing? All right, gonna bounce the token. Sure. And Mogwar Marshal. Well, stomp your face. Assault your face. Sounds so bad. Assault your face. Assault your face. We need 1 more damage somehow. Opponent. And opponent scoops it up. That was so good. How do you feel about Wizards once again allowing a banned commander card into Historic Brawl with Grizzlebrand? So yeah, we got multiple pieces of news. Well, so you got Grizzlebrand in Historic Brawl. Honestly, it's probably okay. Like, I don't know. So I haven't actually played with or against Grizzlebrand in Historic Brawl. I think in Commander, the main problem with Grizzlebrand is you can reanimate it on like turn 1 or on turn 1 technically, or on turn 2. Um and that's pretty fast in game ending. Um how has it been in Brawl? I guess I can't say much without playing against it. Outside of the reanimation, I don't think that Grizzlebrand is actually egregious in Commander, actually. Like, if you're actually having to spend mana on Grizzlebrand, it's a powerful creature that's going to draw you a lot of cards. The other difference is, Commander, the other reason that Grizzlebrand can be more problematic is you got 40 life. So maybe it would be fine in Brawl. In Brawl, you have slower reanimation and 25 life, right? So maybe that's enough differences. I will say, did we talk about this already? Did we talk about Ragavan? Did we talk about Wizards? Did we talk about Wizards saying that Ragavan's going to be legal in Historic? Like, they're doing it. They're actually just putting Ragavan into Historic. This kind of ties into the rebalancings, I guess. What do you do? What do you do about Ragavan? What do you do about Ragavan in Historic? Like, do you yeah, I thought it was going to be pre-banned, but they said that they're giving it a go. They're giving it a go. They're going to try it, see how it goes. Do you spend your wildcards on it? That's the question. Like, if they try it and they end up banning it, then that's kind of fine, right? They put it on Arena. 3 months from now, they're like, okay, this is as broken as everyone said it was. We're going to ban it. They give you your wildcards back. That's perfectly fine. My concern is them rebalancing it. Like, if they put it on Arena and everyone has to craft it because it's going to be one of the best cards if you're playing Historic, so everyone has to spend their wildcards on it, and then they rebalance it, then they how is that not stealing our money? Like, that, I don't understand that. I had a conversation with someone about this on Twitter. I do not like, to me it feels so wrong. Like, you can take in, like, I feel like this happens with Alchemy a lot. And I can't say that it's intentional. But if you look at, like, I don't even know how many decks we have here. Do we have any? Not really. But I feel like, okay, here's the card. So I feel like what happens with Alchemy is an Alchemy set comes out, it releases something like Crucius or Jarosel, which is just super duper way too powerful. If you really want to play the most competitive decks in Historic, or I don't play Alchemy, but I assume in Alchemy, I can't believe these cards are legal in a standard like format. But I assume you have to craft these cards, and then a few months later, they rebalance them so they're no longer very good, but you don't get your wild cards back. And then the next Alchemy set comes out and does the same thing. It releases some busted card that you need to, like, spend your... There was the human 4-drop Coco thing before that got rebalanced. There were the infinite Burgie combo pieces before they got rebalanced. Is that not, like... I don't know. It feels scummy. It feels just, like, predatory to me. The fact that it's kind of like you're giving money and not getting anything, right? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how it feels to me. If it was refunded, then my complaint would be gone. Like, that's my complaint. Like, I don't appreciate the whole, like, idea of all the rebalancings. Alchemy is definitely not for me, but if that's someone else's thing, that's awesome. Like, I am not going to take that away from someone else, even if I personally don't think it's how I want to play Magic. But the financial aspects I find very frustrating. Opponent, Cavern, Gobbo, Gobbo, and Snoop. There it is. Wait, we still have Blood Moon in our deck? Why do we still have Blood Moon? Didn't we take out our Blood Moons? I feel like we took out all of our Blood Moons, but apparently we did not take out all of our Blood Moons. About it. Been watching you for years, been playing since original Ravnica set. Would you check out my modern control deck and give me feedback? Hey, I would love to, Hotbox. Thank you for watching, by the way. I also started with original Ravnica. That's when I first started playing Magic. Opponent, what are we matroning? Ringleader? We gotta hope that ringleader is not good. I mean, it's a ringleader. Well, okay. What do we draw? Oh, cycling land, eh? Well, okay. Cycling land, go. This hand could really use a seismic, or not a seismic assault, a loam. This hand could really use a loam. Opponent, Blood Crypt untapped. Well, this is the moment of truth. If they hit 2 or less goblins, we're in good shape. If they hit 3 or 4... All right, they hit 3 or 4. Opponent goes attacking. I do not know if we can slog through this much. Harbinger, Fanatic, War Marshal. We could play the Blood Moon, but then we can't loam. Oh, another Sheltered Thicket. How do we do this? If we had a loam, I would feel good. Play Assault? I'm almost tempted to play Blood Moon. Blood Moon would stop them from playing the Harbinger. So opponent's hand, Mog Fanatic, Mog War Marshal, Bogart Harbinger, 2 unknown cards. Do you think building a battle deck around Glissa and Standard would be good? 3 mana Glissa? I was thinking of new Glissa. I mean, I think that's a neat way to be able to attack your opponent and still remove counters. I will say my experience is Glissa, it's harder to get in hits with than you think. It seems like it gets chump blocked a lot or killed. So I've never really been able to snowball Glissa. I very rarely have been able to snowball Glissa the way I would like to. Yeah, losing green. So if we play Blood Moon, we lose the access to drawing a... I mean, we don't have the loam, though. Do we need to add a body? I feel like this decision is going to determine the game, essentially. Yeah, all right. Play the Blood Moon, pass the turn. Opponent. Let's see if this works or not. Opponent, Mog War Marshal. Can't pass up a chance to play a Blood Moon. Mog Fanatic. Opponent gets in. Watch us just draw the loam. Then that's the ultimate backfire. Feed the Clan. Well, that is a green card that we would have liked to cast. Bone Crusher Giant. Go. About it. Mog War Marshal. Pays for the War Marshal. And... I mean, hopefully we cut our opponent off of playing several cards. Combat. Attacks. I assume. Wow, opponent passes. Okay. Oh, no. 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 Okay, pass the turn. We're drawing a lot of green cards. Okay, this Blood Moon might be backfiring a tiny bit. Just a little. Oh, come on now. More ringleaders off the top. Well, okay. That's a bunch of black. Our opponent only gets 1 card that they can actually cast. Okay. Staying alive. Opponent. Maybe this Blood Moon's going to be enough. Countryside Crusher. Mills a land. Finds us. Oh, no! Oh, no. Oh no. Oh no. Regrets. Regrets, regrets. Pass the turn. Oh no. Oh, we have drawn a green card every single turn. The only thing that would make this worse is our opponent drawing black mana. That would be the ultimate, the full backfire. Have you made any brews around Doom Whisper and Titania? I haven't seen any, and they seem like they'd be friends. Oh, come on now. Sting Scourger for our opponent. Gonna bounce our Crusher. And another Mog War Marshal. Opponent. With a big attack. No, block. A Mog Fanatic. One, two, three, four. Discard a land, kill the ringleader. Get pinged. We could just draw forest. We do have a forest in the deck. There is one forest. Oh no, that's another green card. Oh. This is wet. Literally as badly as it could go. I think we were like... Well, I don't know. Our opponent would have been tutoring up combo pieces, but I'm pretty sure if we didn't play Blood Moon, we would be very heavily favored in this game. Very heavily favored. But since we did play Blood Moon, we may not be nearly as heavily favored. Opponent sacking their stuff. Mountain. Kiki Jiki the Mirror Breaker. And then because of Countryside Crusher, we don't actually draw lands, do we? Huh. Yeah, that was a pretty big backfire. Christoph, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. About it. Passes. Yeah, I think our love for Blood Moon is going to get us this game. We draw a green card. I mean, we have also ran really sadly, but pass the turn. No attacks. Oh, about it. Gonna copy the matron. Yeah, I mean, I assume we're just dead, right? Yeah, I think we might have made the wrong call to play the Blood Moon. Opponent gets another matron, gets to tutor. Hey, Goldfish, do you think it would be a good idea to take out Bone Crusher Giant and add 4 Hill Giants? I mean, there could be some merits. Like, what if someone has opponent gets a Lord? Yep. Well, I think our love of Blood Moon killed us that game. I think that was purely playing that Blood Moon. What if someone has a Chalice on 3? You would much rather have a Hill Giant than a Bone Crusher Giant. The Blood Moon is not the problem. Turn 1, you called it. Let's fetch Greedy for a non-basic. Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's true. If the Blood Moon was not in our deck, I think we win. I'm pretty sure we win if Blood Moon was not in our deck. We even sideboarded out many of the copies, but... Oh, I mean, I think... So the greedy aspect is mostly... You normally don't want to put Utopia Sprawl on a non-basic, because non-basics are easier to blow up. So that's kind of the greedy aspect. The greedy, that's what I was thinking of, the greedy aspect. Not so much the Blood Moon aspect. Triome. So the alchemy rebalancings, if I can find these. Opponent, Wooded Foothills. And passing. Well, crack the Wooded Foothills. Ah, yeah, I know it wasn't. You didn't remind me fast enough. I blame you, Tuca. It's on you, Tuca, buddy. We'll still look at him. We'll get to him. Utopia's Brawl. On red. We gotta win this one to get a treasure chest after messing up the goblin match. Well, okay. Ren. And tick it up to get back land. I assume our opponent's putting rhinos into play, which is probably bad news. Probably means we're dead. About it. Yeah, you can't draw lands with Countryside Crusher out. It mills until you hit a non-land, basically, and then gets counters for the lands. So, yeah, hilariously, we kind of locked ourselves out of the game. We played the Blood Moon and the Countryside Crusher, which meant that, I mean, we only had one green source we could draw anyway, so it wasn't very likely, but we did pretty much lock ourselves out of doing anything that game. So it'd be a good turn for our opponent not to make 10 power of rhinos. Okay. Are they going to Fury our Ren and then make 10 power of rhinos? All right, there goes our Ren. Opponent. Pass it. Well, Utopia Sprawl. On red. And Countryside Crusher. Good old Countryside Crusher. Yeah, Living End would have cycled by now. So I'm pretty confident it's rhinos. Living End, the odds of them not cycling on turn 1 or turn 2 is very close to 0. Like, I don't even know what kind. I can't even think of the kind of hand that Living End would have that would not have a cycler. What do you think of this Elves deck? 67 win rate across hundreds of best of 3. All right, here they come. Opponent. Crashing Footfalls. Make some big rhinos. Yep. Well, let's see if we can beat some rhinos. I really don't want to trade this Countryside Crusher. That would feel bad. I guess we gotta take a few million here. 8. Rhinos, pretty busted. Down to 11. Blue Spike, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup for you. Thank you. Well, okay. Crack the Wooded Foothills. Down to 10. Grow the Crusher. Get a tap land. I mean, if our opponent just has more rhinos, then life is very likely over. All right, we mill into Seismic Assault. Boy, we are close to having this set up. We got a 6/6. We draw the Seismic Assault. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7. Whew. 1, 2, okay. So, Seismic Assault. This probably isn't going to work, but we got to try. Seismic Assault. Seismic Assault in Clothis actually turns on the Clothis. Okay, Force and Negation. So we will play Beseiju. And do we still clothe this? Yeah, let's play Clothis. Pass the turn. As long as the Countryside Crusher sticks around to block. Steam Vents. Tapped. Save us, Countryside Crusher. I mean, the Elves deck looks good. Looks like a solid elf deck to me. I found Fraley's is that card's kind of ridiculous. Kind of a ridiculous Planeswalker and elf deck. But yeah, I mean, I could imagine it working pretty well. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Opponent has a split card. Dead Gone. Hits us to 2. Alright, well, let's see what we can do. That is unfortunate. Clothis, exile, Crashing Footfalls, gain some life. 1, 2, 3. Play Countryside Crusher. Play Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Well, we'll see what interaction they got. Oh my goodness. No. Wow. Well, I mean, that's Rhinos for you. That's Rhinos. Well, maybe Giants are just not up to the task. Double Force. Ugh. I mean, I gotta say, this has not been much of a Blood Moon league. Like, Blood Moon has seemed pretty actively bad. I mean, I'm sure that's partly the matchups that we've played, but wow. So the alchemy rebalancing thing. My questions for you were twofold. So basically, they went through every common and uncommon ninja and made them better for some reason. Just adding stats, taking away mana. So question number 1 I had is specifically Futurist Operative, wherever that card is. Like, how do you feel about this rebalancing? Like, Futurist Operative was a 4 mana 3/4, and now it's a 1 mana 0/4. Isn't there a point where it's not a rebalancing and you just designed a new Magic card? Like, is it really a rebalancing if you cut a card from 4 mana to 1 mana and its stats from 3 power to 0 power? Like, I don't know. Like, there has to be some limits on rebalancing, I think. Like, there's got to be some, or else just print a new card if you're going to do that. The other question I had, so this kind of came up a little bit on social media. We were talking about it. Does this rebalancing make you more or less likely to play ninjas in a format like, I guess, Alchemy if you play it, or Historic? Because one of the paradoxes I ran into is I like ninja decks. We've played ninja decks many times, but I feel like these changes make me less likely to play ninjas because it just feels weird. Like, I don't know. I'm not especially interested in Wizards making ninjas good. Like, I think for me, a lot of times the fun is trying to, like, make cards that are not good work. That's a big appeal to Magic to me, is like, I get joy out of, like, here's these cards that are not very good. No one else is playing them. Can we get some wins with them? Can we build a cool deck out of them? And for me, like, I don't know. For me, having a card go from 4 mana to 1 mana, or ninjutsu costs get dropped, or like scries being at, like, just cards generally powered up, it kind of takes away from that fun. Like, I don't want you to make the cards good for me. I want to try to make the cards good. Like, I want to try to win with this tribe that wasn't powered up that much. So I don't know. I have found it like paradoxical in the sense that I think I'm less likely to play ninjas because of the rebalancing. Rebalancing Ragavan scares me. That scares me. I don't. Are you gonna spend your wild cards on Ragavan? I mean, obviously, if you're not playing the formats it's legal in, then there's no reason to. But I actually have a bit of nervousness about spending my wild cards on it, just because I feel like if they rebalance it, I don't get those wild cards back. And if they can rebalance to fairy, and if they can rebalance to fairy, if they can rebalance Omnath, I think Ragavan is on that same level as far as how iconic it is. I guess I don't know what they mean when they say they won't rebalance iconic cards. I guess they mean like Brainstorm, Force of Will, like cards that are legacy staples that have been around for 100 years. If this is Force of Negation, it's so bad for us. We really need this Void Mirror. Opponents run a lot of Force of Negations. Many, many, many Force of Negations. Opponent. Well, that's going to make life very difficult. It's funny that Wizards tried to word Force of Negation so it wouldn't be a card to protect combos, and it still ended up being a card that protects combos. They tried to word it so since you can only use it on your opponent's turn, then you wouldn't be able to use it to force your combo through. But it seems like if you look at the decks that play it, it is almost exclusively, well, maybe exclusively is too strong of a word, but the primary homes for it are Crashing Footfalls, Living End, Goryo, Glimpse combo. It's decks that are using it to keep the card that stops their combo off the battlefield. So, opponent. Where can I see the new alchemy cards? Hang on. I should be able to find it. Opponent. Petty Thief. And passes. Let me draw Clothis. Well, 2 turns until Rhinos. 3 cards in hand. I mean, I think we need Assault Loam. We have Assault. We don't have Loam, though. Well, Countryside Crusher. Play the Forest past the turn. Here's the latest arena rebalancings. Opponent. Island. And I honestly think, I don't think you should ban a Cascade spell. I think that's kind of silly. But I do wonder if Wizards messed up the rules change. I think, do you remember when they changed the rules on split cards? I think that is at least partially responsible for the power of the Cascade decks. So I wonder if they messed up. Like, they changed how split cards work to nerf Brain in a Jar, of all things. Yeah, the brain in the jar OP. But they changed the rules to try to power down Brain in the Jar, which they did. But that was like years ago, before Modern Horizons. And the end result was now Cascade decks get to play a ton of interaction that they would not otherwise be able to play, like Fire and Ice, Dead Gone, Brazen Borrower, etc., etc., etc. So I kind of wonder. I wonder if they. Do you think they'd ever change that rule back? I almost think that Magic would be, or Modern would be better if the rule was the old rule. Like, I think they fixed a problem that, like, sort of existed at the time, kind of. Okay, bounces Countryside Crusher. I think they fixed a problem that, like, sort of kind of existed at the time, but then ended up creating, like, a monster out of the Cascade decks. Brazen Bar would work under the old rule. Would you not Cascade into the adventure part of it? Opponent. Yeah, I guess I'm not sure how adventure cards would work. Maybe adventure cards wouldn't work. I know split cards definitely wouldn't work. Opponent. So, I mean, these are basically split cards. So as far as Cascade is concerned, it wouldn't matter. It would just be Brazen Borrower all the time. I guess that makes sense. Opponent. Hard cast the Fury. And can we play the Boros deck from last week's Twitter? Oh, we might be able to play that at some point. We've played. The reason I didn't want to play it is we've played a lot of similar decks, but I guess it's been. I mean, you can never have too many mana ties. You can never have too many mana ties. So maybe it's been long enough that we can play it again. I do enjoy mana tithing things. All right, opponent. It's a Ren. Yup. Passes the turn. We draw Bloodstain Mire. Opponent has one card in hand. What is our best pathway out of this? We're at 13. So I think we gotta make mana. If we eat a land, we make a mana. I think this works. So we eat a land. We get a mana. It'll be red. We play Seismic Assault. We play Countryside Crusher. We tick up Ren to get back a land so we can kill something. And we pass the turn and we hope really hard that our opponent's out of interaction. About it, adapt. Can we stop the rhinos? Can we stop the rhinos? About it. Maybe Countryside Crusher, the hero? The hero we deserve? What's up with his face? He's got like very red puffy cheeks. About it. You see the new Pauper combo. Target Seeker of Skybreak with Hanger Scrounger. All right, opponent. Gonna make more rhinos. Yep. Can never have too many rhinos. You know what we need? We need a loam. A loam would be so good here. Opponent. Suspends another Crashing Footfall and passes. Well, let the sniping begin. Is there any way we can go face? We probably got to kill creatures, right? Either Eyes would actually be really good here. Either Eyes would get him. Either Eyes would get him. I don't even think our opponent attacks here. I assume they just pass. Do we even just... I guess we can just wait. All right, untap. Crusher. Find us a loam, Crusher. Find us a loam. Void. Well, I mean, Void Mirror is something-ish. Wait, what happened to the Void Mirror? I'm so confused. Well, we will eat a Force of Negation. Oh, so we drew nothing? Drawing nothing here is not good. That is not good. That is not even a little good. Well, Wrenn and 6, get back a land. Sheltered Thicket. Pass the turd. How now, brown cow? Welcome to the fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. Didn't we? Where did this come from? I'm very confused. Opponent sacks to draw. Looking for some interaction. And it's more rhinos and a land. Opponent. Are we attacking? Was it so close? Yeah, I don't... Yeah, I'm confused. I'm trying to look back in the chat. I'm not even sure. So we milled... Countryside Crusher, milled 2 lands. I don't know. Or wait, is this? Oh, I see. I'm looking at the wrong window. That's a Void Mirror that got exiled forever ago. That was a Void Mirror that got exiled on like turn 2 by Force of Negation. This is the revealed cards. I had the wrong window open. That makes more sense. So this is the window of what's being revealed. All right, so untap. Countryside Crusher gonna do its thing. Well, we mill some lands. We hit a Bone Crusher. We draw a Bone Crusher. Clothis. Eat a Crashing Footfall. Is there a way we can win? We have 8 damage in hand. What if we start attacking? Like, our opponent has to block, right? They actually have to block? It did. It did go into the void. If we attack, though, they're going to block with this, aren't they? If we kill this, can we still win? Not exactly. What an interesting close game. Well, okay. Wrenn and 6. Get back Beseiju. Go to combat. Attack with Clothis. On a rampage. Welcome to the fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you, opponent. Going to Shardless Agent block. Sure. Well, we will play a... Actually, you know what? Let's Stomp a Fury. Play a Bone Crusher. Kill the Fury. Grow the Crusher. I mean, I think we need like one more turn. If we get one more turn. All right, pass the turn. Opponent. Their rhinos aren't coming down yet, right? We still got a couple of turns. Opponent needs a big draw. Opponent flashes in Brazen Borrower. Sure. Untaps. Takes down the rhinos. How are you on a rampage? If the void mirrors a void, then when does it mirror? Asking the big questions. All right, opponent got the big draw. Yup. Goes to combat. Attacks with everything. Well, we will block a rhino. This is awkward. Kill a rhino. Kill a Brazen Borrower. Take our beats. Drop to 8. Untap. I mean, so that's an example of the kind of card that would not be able to be played in old Cascade decks. Well, eat it. Drain you. Countryside Crusher. Get back a land. Hit you. Oh, we gotta close it out before the rest of the rhinos come. That's our challenge at the moment. Hit you to 7. Stomp a rhino. Snipe a rhino. Pass the turn. Opponent, can they top deck? Ooh, staycation next week? Do you have any big plans on your staycation on a rampage? Opponent. If you kill the 2/2 first, could have had one more card in hand. Kill the 2/2 before it blocked. Could they have just taken it though? Are we talking about like a few turns ago? I don't think, did they have to block there? It's good to have some time without any pressures, anything going on. The turn they alpha'd, you could have killed the Brazen Borrower, took the rhinos, and had lethal on the follow-up. Maybe. I guess I didn't actually go through all the math. You might be correct. Maybe we didn't have to interact. Was our opponent out of cards at that point? You might be right. Opponent. Passing. Or not. Oh. Top decks. Another dead gone. Well, we will exile a dead gone. Well, our opponent might live long enough to get to the rhinos, which is annoying. They do have to block here. They do have to block. Or they die. So I guess we should still be okay. We should still be alright. So opponent blocks. We run out Countryside Crusher. Actually, Bone Crusher is probably better, right? We kind of want to draw land. Run out Bone Crusher. Take up red. Grab the Shelter Thicket. Opponent at a virtual 1. Pass the turn. I mean, assuming they can't deal with our Clothis, we just burn them out. Opponent. Yeah, our opponent has been good at drawing dead gods, that's for sure. Well, more rhinos. Hit the battlefield. Probably remembers the good old times when you could blow up all the lands with Goblin Dark Dweller. Ah, oh, that was pretty fun. That was pretty fun. Uh, I, yeah. The other thing is like, I wonder if there's a better way to put the rule. I wonder if there is. Hey, what's up, Band of Beatles? How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Well, this should just be game, right? We get to take up red, get a land. I mean, I don't know how we don't win here. Go to combat, do some attacking. Opponent has to block both. They could have life gain, I guess. Opponent blocks. Opponent blocks. Countryside Crusher. I mean, I guess we don't have to do anything until our opponent does. Subtlety. All right. Now we will kill you. Burn your face. Burn your face. Oh, we got there. Any tips for a young league grinder? Who? I mean, I think, what format are you playing, Dark Sniper? I think especially in older formats, there's a lot of value to learning a deck or a small number of decks really well. Like, that's, if I was going to try to grind modern leagues, I would focus on, rather than like trying to play the meta super hard, I would focus on picking a deck that you enjoy and think is good. Obviously, like, if you pick a tier 3 jank pile, this is not going to work as well. But pick a deck that's good and that you enjoy playing and play that for like a month straight. Like, just grind that deck until you learn the ins and outs of it. Because I think formats like Modern really, really reward, like, the difference between consistently 4-1ing and 5-0ing and 3-2ing or 2-3ing is really learning your deck. It's those little things that you're just not going to pick up on your first run through or your second run through or your 10th run through. It's learning all the ins and outs of it. So that would be my advice. Like, find a deck. Ooh, double Void Mirror. Find a deck that you like and just really learn that deck and become an expert in that deck before moving on to the next one. Which is exactly the opposite of how we play Magic here for streams and content. We just like jump from deck to deck. But I run into that. Like, I know that the way we play for content is not the optimal way for winning. Like, the optimal way for winning is playing the same deck for like a while in a row and really becoming good at it. Opponent. Misty Rainforest. I mean, I guess if that's just boring to you, then what would my next piece of advice be? If you don't want to play the same deck for a while, play good decks. If the goal is to grind out winnings. Stomping Grounds. Also, it's worth mentioning, one thing that gets lost these days is tournament Magic is... Oh, is this going to be Fire Ice into Rhinos? That would be bad. Yup. Well, okay. Looking pretty dead because of that. See, this is another card. Bring back Brain in the Jar. Bring back Brain in the Jar. Opponent. Hey, see you, Archburglar Lord. Thanks for hanging out. Opponent. Woodinful Hills. Suspends Rhinos. So, okay. Well, if our opponent doesn't have the ability to play Rhinos, that works in our favor. We will play a Void Mirror. Opponent. Oh, these Void Mirrors could let us steal this. With two of them, we might actually be able to get one to stick. Resolves. Sheltered Thicket. That's our hopes and dreams. Past the turn. The two I have are Infect and Greentron. Ooh. Infect is pretty interesting right now. I've never been a big Tron fan. But Infect I think has gotten interesting with Rot Priest joining the mix. Opponent gonna bounce. All right, so opponent's really hoping to draw a Cascade spell here and put Rhinos on the battlefield. We are really hoping they don't. And then we get to play multiple Void Mirrors next turn and win the game. Opponent takes down, takes down. Do they top deck Cascade? Breeding Pool. Hold, hold. All right, opponent's passing. Well, we are going to play Void Mirrors 4 days. Well, play Boseiju. Replay Void Mirror. Opponent forcing negations. Well, we got another one. Void Mirror, go. Let's fizzle this Rhino. Let's fizzle this Rhino. Come on. Come on. Hold. Yes. 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 No colored mana spent. Yes. Yes. It worked. Okay. Okay. We did it. We did it. We did it. We fizzled the Crashing Footfall. Opponent. We got a chance. We got a chance here. Opponent. Kind of maybe passing. Passes. Feed the Clan. Well, we will play Ren in 6. Get back the land. Play the land. Crack it. Get a forest. Run out Clothis. And pass the turn. I miss hearing complaining about Tron. I know, we just never play against Tron anymore. No one, I mean, Tron is like, it shows up on rare occasion, but gone are the days when Tron was like 2 out of every 5 matches. There was a time when Tron was like the most played deck, which gave us lots to complain about, but now it's like a tier 2 deck. So we don't play against it much and don't get to complain about it as much. Which I guess is probably good overall, because I do find Tron very annoying to play against, but it is also probably bad for content, hilariously. Wow. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. A butt. Furies into the Void Mirror. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I mean, that was great for us, but I feel a little bad for our opponent. Void Mirror is getting them. Opponent hits our Ren. Sure. Sure. And Cascade. Cascade into Rhinos. You can do it. Don't worry, the Void Mirror it'll let it go this time. We won't forget our trigger. It's a big Murktide. I guess that is kind of an issue, isn't it? All right, opponent plays a massive Murktide Regent. I guess we exile a land. Are we going to lose to a Murktide? That's our new question. Exile a land. Add a red mana. Play. Play Seismic Assault. Go to combat. Hit you with Clothis. Opponent takes it. Well, we will Ren back a land. Yeah, we could discard, and then play another Ren. It might just be better to wait, though. Yeah, I think we just wait. I think we just wait for this turn. Actually, you know what? I don't think we're gonna. I was thinking we could foretell Quakebringer, but I don't think we want to foretell Quakebringer. Yeah, let's just pass. Let's just pass. See what our opponent does. Opponent also has to think like they're down to 11. That is not a ton of life for surviving this Clothis. Crashing Footfalls countered. Yeah, this Voidmere has done an absurd amount of work. It has been so good here. Opponent, Fiery Islet. Gets to redraw. Sure. Our opponent might have to attack the Ren. Opponent goes to combat. Opponent. How are we attacking? Face. Ren. Sure. We will take it. Down to 15. That shuts off our Clothis for now. Opponent passes. Now let's eat the Crashing Footfall. Hit our opponent. Down to 9. Oh no. Well, discard a land. Discard a land. Yeah, we almost messed this up. Discard a land, and discard a land. Kill the Murktide. Oh, that was close. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Quakebringer. The Giant to come down and close things out. Can't gain life. Beginning your upkeep. 2 damage to each opponent. Go to combat. Hit you with the Clothis. Yeah, I wasn't thinking about those silly dead gons. My god. My god. Okay. Quakebringer, maybe not closing things out. Yeah, I wasn't thinking about the Murktide Grow Egg. And opponent scoops it up. So I gotta say, this deck actually, like, the deck actually worked pretty well. If you think about it. So we finished 3-2. We finished 3-2. Although, really, we lost one of those matches. We lost one of those matches because of our greed with playing the Blood Moon against Goblins, where the way that match played out, if we hadn't played the Blood Moon, we would have very likely won. So we get a little snack. We get a little treasure chest snack. Ooh, oh, these are the same. I wonder when they're gonna update these. These are still the Dominaria Remastered cards, which are mostly common. I think they're all commons and uncommons, actually. They got the old border, though, which is nice. FTK. All right, 1 treasure chest. Sometimes all it takes is 1. Could this be the complete set? Could this be a Paseju, a Force of Negation, or a Spine of Isha? I mean, good commander card. Good commander card. Could be a Tron card. So I think this deck was actually, it was pretty sweet. It worked pretty well, and I gotta say, I'm excited. I'm excited to revisit this deck with, oh no, what is the name of it? Invasion of the red one. The red one that flips into Seismic Assault, which is what? Not Tarkir, not Crosses. Keldheim. Invasion of Keldheim. I'm excited to try this deck again. Hey, welcome. Oh, Kibler, thank you for the raid, although the raid is at the actual like worst time that we're just wrapping up our stream, but welcome everyone. Thank you so much for the raid, Kibler. Hopefully y'all had a wonderful stream. We were just talking, we played some Quakebringer Assault Loam in Modern, talking about the possibility of of updating it once March of the Machine comes out with Invasion of Keldheim, which is a card I haven't really figured out. Like, what do you think about this card in Modern? Like, the backside is like a huge upgrade. It's Seismic Assault, except when you discard a card, you also get to exile a card and play it this turn. So it's like a Seismic Assault that does everything Seismic Assault does, except it also is generating card advantage. So it's strictly better Seismic Assault. The question is, like, you gotta pay 4 mana. You gotta pay 4 mana for it. Then you gotta flip it. Would it be worth it in this deck? Like, could this deck... I think this is the real test for battles. Could this deck that wants desperately the backside of Invasion of Keldheim, could it be worth it to play it? Or is it just a non-starter in Modern? Because Modern's too fast, and we're not going to have the time to play it, and then wheel it, and then flip it, and then eventually... And we just need to be able to, like, slam Seismic Assault, discard some lands, do our thing. Like, we just don't have the time to set it up. I am definitely planning... Aren't all battles bad? Shouldn't we just be killing our opponent? I mean, I don't think you'd say all battles are bad because of that. Because, like, many of the battles have front sides that are essentially just on-curve sorceries. It needs 4. It takes 4 to flip it. So if we replace Seismic Assault with this, T. Barton, welcome to the Visual. Thank you for your subscription. Big super chat for you. We would basically need a Clothis attack, a Quakebringer attack, many Ren pings, a Lightning Bolt plus a Ren would get it done, double Fable the Mirrorbreaker token attacks. It would take a bit. I think the battles, writing them off as bad, I think is not exactly correct. It really depends on the battle. The best battles have front sides for whatever format they're in. They're already just fine cards. I think, what's the best example? It might be, let's sort these by rarity. It might be Invasion of Ixalan, Invasion of Ikoria. Like, this is already a playable card, a Finale of Devastation. So you get the playable front side, and then the back side's a bonus. So what I'm looking for is battles where the front side stands alone, and then the back side is basically upside. Cards that, even if I never take and attack them, are still going to be good. Another example would be like Invasion of Tovolda for standard. 5 mana, reanimate a permanent. That's already the going rate. So the backside, should I ever be in a situation where it's worth flipping into a weird Bitter Blossom, that's just a bonus. I'm already playing a card that I would want to play. Like, if this was a sorcery, it'd be 5 mana, and then it's just fully upside that there's a backside. The ones that are bad are like Invasion of Lorwyn, like 6 mana sorcery speed removal. Like, there's just, you can't play that front side in your deck. Like, sure, it could turn into a kind of a big creature, but the front side rate is just so bad that it's a non-starter outside of Limited. In Limited, it's probably fine. But in Constructed, like, there's just, you can't do it. You can't play a 6 mana sorcery speed removal spell. That's just not how Magic works. So it'll be interesting to see. Obsidian's Aid and it's not playable. I mean, you got to remember, like, context really matters. Like, yes, Obsidian's Aid didn't do much when it was in Standard, but we're in a Standard where people are playing Invoke Justice, people are playing the Cruelty of Gix. Reanimating Atraxa is like a real thing, and there's definitely some upside. Like, if people are already playing 5 mana Reanimate a permanent effects in this Standard to get back Atraxa, to get back Portal of Phyrexia, that's a lot different than Obsidian's Aid Standard when no one was really reanimating anything. So, oh, no. In Modern, yes. I mean, no. People are not going to play Invasion of Tovolda in Modern. That would be a Standard card. For Modern, I think the ones that would be most interesting, I think Invasion of Ikoria, because it combos with Vampire Hexmage, is... So here's the question. Let's say, okay, so is 4 mana... make it 8/8 reach that gives the rest of your team some sort of evasion? Like, is that good enough for Modern? I'm actually not sure. I'm not sure that 4 mana make it 8/8 that's unblockable, essentially, and gives your team unblockable. I'm not sure that's good enough. But that's what Invasion of Ikoria is with Vampire Hexmage. Like, it's not bad, but I don't know if that's a Modern staple. It would have probably been amazing in Modern like 5-6 years ago, but it does get fatal pushed. That is hilariously one of the downsides, is it keeps its mana value. So its mana value is 2, even though it's a huge 8/8 dinosaur. So it gets fatal push, it gets marched, it gets prismatic ending. That is one of the drawbacks for sure. I think its best bet is honestly going to be in a... So the problem is, it has the weird Ikoria flavor restriction. of only tutoring up non-human. So if you look at Modern, the two main decks that play Finale are Asmore in Devoted Druid combo, but unfortunately, because of the weird Ikoria restriction of not being able to get humans, you can't actually get Asmore, and you can't get Vizier in the Devoted Druid combo deck. So that actually, like, really hurts, because I think the best use of this card is playing it in a deck like Devoted Druid combo or Asmore combo, where you already want this effect for other reasons, and then just play like one vampire, oh my god, I just forgot the name. I want to say Nighthawk now. Hex Mage. Just play one Hex Mage that you can snag when you feel like it, or have that be your like YOLO backup plan. Like, this is not gonna work. They've shut down my main combo. Let's grab an 8/8 and just hope for the best. Maybe they don't have the Fatal Push or something. I think that's probably going to be the best use. The other interesting aspect of these cards is they give you spell effects that leave mana symbols on the battlefield. And this is probably more relevant for Pioneer, but I could see Invasion of Ikoria being really good in Pioneer, where Nykthos is one of the strongest cards in the format. This is tutoring up your creature and also leaving green pips to turn on your Nykthos. And the same is true for some of the lesser devotion colors as well. Like, yes, this is a 3-mana Anger of the Gods, but maybe if you're playing Nykthos in Mono Red Devotion, maybe it's worth paying 1 extra mana, because those 2 mana symbols on the battlefield are actually going to generate more mana in the long run. So I think it's actually interesting. It's actually interesting. I think there's implications. I think writing battles off as just bad is not going to be correct. Although I do think you're right that I don't think you're going to be attacking them as much as maybe you think. I think attacking them is going to be very situational, very deck dependent, very matchup dependent. But some of them are good enough as a sorcery. But on that note, I'm sorry, Raiders, is the unfortunate timing that we got a massive raid right as our stream is wrapping up. But we'll find someone else to pass you along to. But thank you so much to Kibler for the huge raid, and thanks for hanging out, everyone. So reminders. So we finished 3-2 with our Giant Loam deck. Although honestly, like I said, I think we could have done better. I think we kind of sort of punted one of those matches just a little bit by playing that Blood Moon. But reminders on the way out the door today. If you miss anything, you can find it on the replay YouTube, normal YouTube. Tons of stuff coming up on there. We got a really sweet Much Brew deck tomorrow on the normal YouTube, so check that out. Top 10 videos will be going up soon. And then next week, of course, we'll get early access day, new set content. So that is all coming in the near future as well. So thanks for hanging out, everyone. You are amazing and awesome. Thanks again to Brian for the raid-in. Yeah, have a great night. Have a wonderful weekend. I love y'all, and I'll see you Tuesday to have some more fun. So until then, everyone, have a good one, and I will talk to you soon.